With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
And we welcome you in to a Bandwagon Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush, where you heard Hunter Yurchek's comments there on this podcast I've never heard of in my entire life, that he went on and shared some things about the status of the...
Was it the Morning Rush podcast?
It was not the Morning Rush podcast.
Okay.
First Recruit, some California podcast or something. It was a no-name podcast.
You know the California people.
So he goes on it, says some other stuff that we'll get into this morning. Didn't exactly instill confidence within Razorback fans. And I know a lot of you listening this morning probably have not heard that. You guys are not on social media, gals are not on social media, or you're just hearing that for the first time. So we'll play it back several times this morning. But it, again, did not exactly give you this supreme confidence that everything is okay within the basketball situation with your head coach right now.
Told me he was jerking your chain a little bit. But, hey, we watched some basketball last night. Women's Final Four is now set. Have you set your Final Four bracket at hitthatline.com? If you have not, you need to get there now and get your Final Four bracket. Your Final Four bracket in at hitthatline.com. Our bracket challenge is presented by On the Mark Sports Bar and Grill in Fayetteville, 810 Billiards and Bowling in Fort Smith, and by our buddy Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley. You can register online right now. We got prizes for every round, and you can get your final picks for the Final Four in right now. HitThatLine.com in our 2024 bracket challenge. So you still like UConn?
To win? Yeah, unfortunately.
UConn and Purdue, would those be your picks?
I would. My heart says NC State, but my brain says Purdue. Okay. I don't know how that NC State stops Zach Edey. I just don't see a situation that they're able to contain him. As fun as DJ Burns has been, as fun as that story has been, where Chuck kind of mentioned it yesterday, I didn't think about it from this standpoint. The fact that they've won 9 single elimination games straight. Think about that. 9 straight single elimination games. And one was a buzzer beater to send into overtime against Virginia. A guy had missed a free throw that was like an 88% free throw shooter, ended up continuing on. A really cool story for Kevin Keats, who now finds himself in the Final Four at NC State in the Final Four for the first time since 1983.
Zach Eats is kind of, Edey for Purdue is kind of like Angel Reese last night for LSU. I mean, just a physical mismatch. I would have bet, we looked this up during the game, I'd have bet she was every bit of 6'5", 6'6". She's 6'3", what the internet said last night, but that she was a physical mismatch. I thought that's where in that game, I know we'll talk about that later, but man, it's kind of like getting Edey the ball in the post. It's over. Good night. If particularly if the game's being called a certain way, and that physicality is allowed inside, which I have no problem with. I don't know how you stop that guy this coming Saturday, or how you're going to. Well, you won't have to worry about stopping her because LSU's been eliminated. But physical mismatch. There was some, I thought, some similarities into how you guard a player like that.
Well, she's worn the black hat. Edey's kind of worn the black hat. And I think he's showcased. He's a little quiet. He's a little quieter than her, but he kind of let his voice be known, criticizing Rick Barnes for passing over him, cussing in the post-game interview. So he has taken on more of the villain role than I would say he had the previous year, being more the quiet, go about your business guy. He showed emotion from time to time, but definitely has changed up a little bit. And last night, we'll just go and get right into it, as Iowa defeats LSU last night, 94-87. Angel Reese was not the same player once she sustained that ankle injury. She went up for a block and ended up falling into the not the crowd, but kind of the cameraman, like behind the goal area, and looked like she sprained her ankle, which for those that have done that at the time, I mean, it still hurts. You can play through it, but you're not the same player, and she was not the same player after that, and LSU wasn't the same team.
Wasn't for a little bit. Foul trouble was a bigger problem than the ankle, because she came back and she struggled running the floor for a little while, but then when they retaped her at halftime and she put new shoes on, I didn't think her mobility was any issue. Her problem was foul trouble. Her and Johnson both got into the foul problems with 4 fouls that when they couldn't play their game. So I thought the foul trouble was a bigger issue than
she ended up fouling out, but she was starting like 6 for 8, and she then went on it like a one.
Because Kim Mulkey got out coached. Flat out coached last night. They quit feeding her the ball. I couldn't, as we were just doing the comparison with Edie and her on the mismatch and the inability to guard her, they were giving it to Reese. Her first 8 points were right underneath the basket. One was a transition steal. The other, they just fed her the ball. And then they quit giving her the ball. It was just dumb.
Well, what they did, she was outcoached on both ends because why Flau'jae Johnson didn't guard Caitlin Clark the entire game is just idiocy. It's just dumb as hell. They put Haley Lith on her, and she got
But why do you quit giving Reese the ball underneath the basket?
She started getting double teamed. When they went to zone, they just double teamed her every time she got the ball. She still managed to get shots up, but she went like 6 for 8 and then went 1 for 12. So it wasn't just they weren't getting the ball. She didn't hit shots. She had a stretch for it. She went 1 for 12.
That game, but also what changed in that game was Caitlin Clark was not exactly red hot early, and then got into a flow about second quarter. And I don't say it wasn't curtains because that game was 45 each at half or something like that. It was a tight game. It's the third quarter and the run by Iowa in the third quarter and the 3-point shots that made the difference.
They didn't employ an Eric Musselman strategy. Just double team. Get anyone else beat me. If I'm playing Caitlin Clark, I am letting anyone else. And they've got some capable players surrounding her, and they had some gals that stepped up last night. She ended up with double-digit assists, so it's not like she's playing with chopped liver or anything. But if I'm Kim Mulkey, like you said, that was where I was going to start this morning. That's not a hot take. That's just if you have two eyes and you watched the game last night, you watched her get outcoached.
Yep.
Maybe with the exception of a half a quarter or a quarter. They got drilled, and I just don't understand. Not double teaming Caitlin Clark. I don't understand why they didn't put Flau'jae Johnson on her the whole game. And there's so many things that LSU had the advantage over, and they just didn't capitalize last night. And
anyway, so that was fun. I mean, when have we ever in segment A talked about women's basketball that didn't involve the Arkansas team? So I don't know. That game has become far more entertaining, far more appealing. Will that last once some of these star names like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are gone and move on? I don't know. But my guess is they'll be back because they'll make a lot more money on NIL in college than they're going to make in the WNBA.
Clark's already announced she's going. Reese
is
probably going to go. So they're probably both. What you want to happen is you want a Bird Magic setup where they continually play in the NBA, and you see these then go at it at the next level too.
I guess they'll be teammates on the Team USA. So.
That was what I was going to say. It's kind of the inverse because Magic and Bird were teammates at first on Team USA. Then they played each other in the national championship. Then in the finals, you'd like to see these two go at it in the finals because it's must-watch TV. I was hooked the entire game last night.
When's the women's game ever been must-watch TV for you?
The last women's game I watched was the South Carolina-Iowa Final Four last year and the national championship between those two. And I don't know if I've watched a full women's game since that time period last night.
Hey, spring camping season's here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th. It's going to be in Rogers, brought to you by Wheels RV and Moix RV. It's going to be on Whitaker Parkway, right behind Nukes. All the big brands from both of those great companies, Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, all on site with on-site financing available as well. Food trucks, a variety of vendors, bounce houses for the kids, and a lot more. So make your plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th in Rogers, brought to you by Wheels RV.
Laura needs to take in, get a tune-up, it sounds like, then.
Well, I'm all for that. I don't know what that includes, but I'm for it.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Nukes. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and bounce house for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
This is The Morning Rush.
The Razorbacks have won it.
How do I drive more traffic to my website? How do I increase my Google rankings? If these are just a few of the questions you have for your business, then we should talk. In addition to sports radio marketing, ESPN Arkansas can help your business be found online. From website design to geo-targeted campaigns, search engine marketing, social media management, streaming video campaigns, and much more. ESPN Arkansas is your digital marketing partner. Go to espnarkansasdigital.com for your free digital marketing audit or email us at sales@hitthatline.com to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Now is a great time to start your career at Simmons. For a limited time, we're offering up to a $15,000 hiring bonus for maintenance techs, including electricians and refrigeration techs. Simmons offers vacation matching, a 401k plan, and premium health care for team members and their families through our care clinics at no additional cost. Learn more at workatsimmons.com or stop by the Fort Smith Hiring Center at 4900 Rogers Avenue, Suite 103 in Fort Smith. Find out more about the $15,000 hiring bonus and start getting paid sooner with same-day hiring options. We look forward to seeing you.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where it's spring cleaning time. The lot is blooming with fresh road-ready certified inventory and weekly specials that could save you up to $4,000. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade today and save up to $4,000 during spring cleaning at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
I appreciate, Ty, you and Tommy having me on this morning. It's always great to join the morning rush.
Wilmsmeyer fighting 2 in a row. Next pitch, low outside. Wilmsmeyer takes a bases-loaded walk, and the Hawks are up 4-2.
Do you enjoy watching Arkansas press conferences? Find all of them on our YouTube channel. You can hear from Sam Pittman, Eric Muselman, Dave Van Horn, and Razorback players. Just search Hit That Line and click subscribe.
Short highlight from Phil there. Arkansas baseball back in action tonight. Bob Walker Stadium against Arkansas State. Dave Van Horn had some thoughts about this game, and we'll get into some of that coming up in just a sec.
All right, plenty to get to. The McLarty Daniel hotline is open this morning, 877-377-6963. all of our guests and your calls there. You can text us as well at that number. McLarty Daniel has 6 locations. They're in Springdale and in Bentonville. A good deal is never too far away. You can find them 24/7 online at McLartyDaniel.com.
So you had a thoughtful point about Peyton Holt yesterday, wondering if there was a possibility for him to pick up some playing time in the outfield or in the infield. And for the midweek games, this is an area where you'd like to see him and some other guys that haven't picked up a lot of playing time on the weekends really excel. When directly asked about Peyton Holt, Arkansas native, here's what Dave had to say.
He's not the only one, so it's just the way it works a lot of times. I think he's been great. He's been a great teammate, real popular. He's going to do big things for our team this year. To me, it's still early.
So one of the reasons Peyton emerged last year is when Stovall went down with that shoulder injury and ended up being out for the season, Peyton really picked it up and was rock solid for them in the infield. Might have been their best player in the postseason, to be honest. And at the end of that season, the way he was hitting, the way he was making plays, now he's taking a step back. They've got Spraglott at third. They've got Fahiva at shortstop, Peyton Stovall at second, and then also you've got McLaughlin at first. So not a lot of playing time seemed to be picked up there. Does it sound like, according to Chuck, that he's going to play much in the outfield? Maybe Diggs moves to DH. I don't know. I think there's still a few moving parts that Dave's trying to tinker with in the outfield at the catcher position. But as far as the infield is concerned, doesn't sound like there's going to be a lot of movement there. So that being said, these are key games tonight, and they'll play UAPB in Little Rock. And there's probably another midweek game or two that I'm not thinking about that he needs to be able to really contribute. That way, when he is called upon in the postseason or a key batting situation, you know he's going to come through for you.
I don't think he has a lot to prove. That's how good this team is. And the fact that he can play in multiple spots and the fact that you'd even have a reasonable conversation about him playing right field, corner outfield, or possibly center tells you how good a ball player he is. And we were talking in the last segment about in-state kids. We were talking earlier yesterday in the show and talking before the show about in-state kids, and we're having a basketball discussion, but it comes back to something Chuck was saying yesterday, man. When you got a player of that caliber in state and then they can't get on the field, we all wonder why. It isn't the fact that he's from Greenwood that makes me wonder why. I've seen how good he is, and he's already contributed in Stovall's absence. He just appeared, maybe we give him benefit of the doubt because of where he got his mail when he was younger, but he sure appears good enough to me to be on the field, but where, and that's the problem. If it's not going to be around that infield, as good a player as he is, and you were talking about the outfield yesterday, maybe he could fit out there. That's a bat I'd want in the lineup.
Yeah, and I just don't know what Dave Van Horn is thinking on how they're going to go about these next few weeks as they get guys back. We've talked about the pitching rotation. You got Dietz back. You've got Carter back. You got Bybee back. Sounds like Colin Fisher, Big Tune, is going to get to start today, but they still want to see Bybee a little bit. Here's Dave on kind of his pitching situation.
Colin Fisher. Yeah, Bobby will pitch, but yeah, since we didn't use Colin over the weekend, we'll start.
So that's how it's going to be the setup. Again, you heard him say they didn't use Colin Fisher this weekend. Bybee will play. Maybe you see some, and you will see, I said maybe, you'll see some other guys too. This is a good place for them, not just we're talking about Peyton Holt, but the pitchers too in this situation. This Arkansas State team on paper is not exactly potent. They're not exactly going to scare you or anything, but you'd like to continue that winning streak. In-state teams, as Dave always talks about, really want to beat you. And it doesn't matter if it's UCA, A-State, whoever inside the state of Arkansas. They're going to give it They're going to give it their best shot. So if Arkansas doesn't show up tonight, they could be for awakening. You would like to continue on this winning streak that you're on. I think it's at 17 games heading into this weekend. We know Baum-Walker Stadium is one of the toughest places to play in the country. I don't know if it'll be that. It's not going to be that atmosphere tonight, but you like to just have that win heading into Ole Miss this weekend.
Yeah, and just keep the momentum going. And, as far as RPI and all that, I hadn't even looked it up, haven't even paid attention. Looked at the D1 baseball rankings. Arkansas is still number one. I was looking at them, getting ready for our Pradco Pyramid of Power, and you've still got, 5 SEC teams in the top 10, 6 in the top 13, so 8 in the top 18.
So, 10 total that are ranked.
Yeah, so, but it just tells you the quality of where it is. And as you say, South Carolina, Mississippi State bringing up the bottom. But pretty stout conference, and all those RPI points may matter when you're trying to separate, good from great come into May.
And you got A&M on your schedule on the road. You do not play Vanderbilt at home or on the road this season, or Tennessee. But you got Florida at home. You got Mississippi State at home. So some of those top 25 teams, again, there's 10 of them. So there's plenty of them that will be coming into your building. Arkansas is unanimous. It's not just the D1 baseball poll and coaches poll. I saw this stat. Matt Jones had this stat with Whole Hog Sports that Arkansas has been ranked. Listen to this. Arkansas baseball has been ranked an absurd amount, over 2,200 days since the last time that they've been unranked in the Coaches Bowl. Over 2,200 days, 2,234 to be exact, is how many times or how many days consecutively that you have been ranked in the Coaches Bowl. That is the model of consistency. We're seeing it right in front of our eyes, and this is, again, a Dave Van Horn team that it's early on. You don't want to jump the gun and make all these assertions, make all these things about where this baseball team is. They still have some issues that they have to clean up. They're still not great hitting the ball. They've been better. Dave's talked about how they've been better in SEC play, but this is not a complete team. You like them. You made a point yesterday that I think has some merit. It's like you don't want them to play their best baseball too early, and it's not like you don't want them to keep on winning, but you also don't want them to peak either, when we're not even close to postseason baseball just yet.
No, I mean, that goes without saying, but because it's always the hot team. Look at NC State, right now in basketball, the hot team. They're in the Final Four. We saw it with their baseball team a couple years ago that wrecked the party in Fayetteville, and we've seen it with Ole Miss and Mississippi State. It's about being hot at the right time. Being the best team all year long, yeah, it's worth something, but in the end, it doesn't get you necessarily what you're after. So the question is, what is the ceiling for this team? I don't know. I mean, how much better can this team be? I don't know. I don't know that Dave can really put that into terms. I don't, into words at least.
Well,
I don't know how much better they can be.
Brady Tyggart's got to be better. He is not. I think I wonder if he's going to stay in that third slot rather than two. I think Molina showed you a little something. I think that your hitting's got to get better. Those are the main two components I would say that you wonder about. You're not like, oh my gosh, this is a problem, but that's where my mind goes when I think about this baseball team.
That would be the one area, and we didn't get into him retaining kind of that starting role because he's had some control issues lately. Hey, if you're looking to head up for a baseball weekend or you're making plans for football this fall, the Inn at the Mill is where we love to stay. Plus, I've got a few plans for concerts at the Amp later on this summer. So if you're thinking about that or maybe just a getaway weekend, the Inn at the Mill is where we love to stay. Big, spacious suites, oversized rooms. The convenient location is top-notch. Exit 69 off I-49 at the Johnson exit. You cannot beat the location, and you can't beat the friendliness of the staff at the Inn at the Mill. 443-1800 is their number, 479-443-1800, or online at innatthemill.com.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch, big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The tournament is here. BetOnline is your bracket headquarters for this season with the best bracket contests out there and odds, lines, and info on every game and every round right up to the national championship. You can access the most up-to-the-minute wagering information anytime from your desktop or your mobile device and even track your bracket real-time all the way through the tournament. Head to BetOnline today and get in on all the action. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The tournament is here. BetOnline is your bracket headquarters for this season with
interchangeable down the stretch. That could be a weapon for Dave. Now, in the past, I don't think that Mac has excelled as much as a starter relative to what he's been out of the bullpen. I think he prefers, frankly, to be honest, coming out of the bullpen. And I could be wrong, but I think I've heard him say that too. Maybe I've been correct on that. But Jason, I think they're both weapons. I think Brady hopefully will get back into it a little bit. I mean, he hasn't been bad. Like, his ERA is not bad at all. It's just his command hasn't been. He's been a little wild. And for the expectations, I know he has himself. They're not as high as they want. It's not as good as he wants to be. Also, do want to mention, it's about 30 minutes into the program, and I haven't mentioned, how about the Arkansas women's softball team going to Athens, Georgia, and getting a series victory. They win last night to clinch that. Congrats. Shannon Dirks wants us to point that out this morning. Congrats to Courtney Dyfel and company as they get they tied their highest ranked series win ever. Last year, I think they beat Tennessee. This year, they beat Georgia, and they beat them first game and then game 3 last night. So congrats to Courtney Dyfel and that team. Hannah Gamble had 5 RBIs, I think 2 home runs last night.
Cool. I mean, that's a big series win, and that their next step is obviously figuring out how to get to Oklahoma City. And I think you'll see, much like the popularity, and it's already a popular sport, but it went to the next level and stadium expansion and so on and so forth with baseball after that 2004 World Series trip. I think if you could ever break through and get to Oklahoma City, you'll start seeing that kind of growth. Hey, have you looked at the lines for this weekend for the Final Four? I'm on the Bet Saracen app.
What is
my first look at them?
UConn's is 11.5?
11.5,
okay,
and they're minus 750.
So I saw that one. I'm going to guess that Purdue's like a 7-point favorite.
8.5.
8.5, okay.
8.5. So that's the lines here for the Final Four for this weekend. Bet Saracen's got all the lines. Arkansas baseball for tonight is plus 1,000. Pardon me. I get that. Let me say that correctly.
I was going to say, I'll hammer that.
No. Arkansas State's plus 1,000. Arkansas's minus 3,000.
Okay.
I got my Arkansas schools mixed up there. But, yeah, number 1, Arkansas minus 3,000 that I on the money line, and A-State plus a grand. So, yeah, I don't think I'd mess with that one tonight other than maybe a bet on the Razorback. BetSaracen.com, the official lines here of the Morning Rush.
John from Mount Nome texted in on the McLarty Daniel hotline. He says it's too low. UConn by 20. Not a fan of Nate Oates. He doesn't care if he's an SEC head coach or not. He expects the Huskies to mash Alabama this week, and which based on their track record, which they've won by an average in the 20s, maybe it might exceed 30s based on some of their wins. I think their closest win was like 19 points against Northwestern. I had it yesterday, but I don't think that's too far on the realm of possibility. I hate that because I want to see 2 good Final Four games, but we might not have 2 good ones this weekend.
Yeah, and if UConn keeps on the way they're going, they've dominated everybody to this point. So I don't know where these last 2 years would rank if they have another couple of dominant victories. I think the best championship game would be Purdue and UConn, but I think we're all rooting for NC State just because they're the school that's closest to ours as far as kind of where they're at on their track. It's been a long while since they've kind of been in this rare altitude of college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would, at least I feel I do as a Arkansas fan, I most identify with NC State amongst those 4 schools. But I also see what's the big difference between Arkansas and UConn? As far as the ability to do what they've done over the last 20 years, 25, was it 5 national titles? This could be their 6th back-to-back since 2000 or 2002 or something like that. I mean, it's not like UConn's been an all-timer. They're not a UCLA. They're not a Kentucky. They're probably in the blue blood conversation now, but they don't have enough decades of success at UConn.
I think of them as a true basketball school. Do you think they have an advantage because they don't really seem to?
Geography's why they're advanced. I mean, they're so close to the population,
Boston, New York,
the population centers of the East Coast.
Yeah, and
they can get the talent.
And I made a joke yesterday, and the joke is that I received from Aaron Torres, who joins Halftime every Friday. He's a graduate of UConn. There's nothing to do in stores, so like they play basketball all the time. That's all they do. I think that the advantage you're talking about from a basketball standpoint. Now, Kansas's football program is better than it was, but I do think there is some belief that they have an advantage. Kentucky's the same way. I know Louisville just went to the ACC championship, but some will cite that. I think that when you focus a lot of your attention, in fact, the majority of your attention in basketball as a fan base, that does help your basketball program. But I don't think that is a deterrent here in Fayetteville. I think that we've seen the last, not this past year, but the previous 3 years, and under Coach Sutton and Coach Richardson, that there can be a lot of basketball success here. You got to have the right coaches and the right players. What stands out about those? Hall of Fame coach, late Eddie Sutton, Hall of Fame coach, Nolan Richardson. There's one off here for UConn. Calhoun won 3 of them. right? Hall of Fame coach. Ollie's not a Hall of Fame coach. He just had some really good players. And then now Dan Hurley he is on his way to the Hall of Fame. If they win 2 national championships, he's pretty much guaranteed a spot in that. And this is a guy that, kind of like Nate Oates, about a decade ago, was coaching high school basketball. It's pretty crazy. I mean, Oates, him, I guess who's the other, let's see, Purdue. Painter's been in Purdue for forever. And then NC State, I don't know. I'm not as familiar with Kevin Keats' background. I know that Chuck brought it up a little bit yesterday, but it starts in the grassroots a lot of times. And speaking of high school, I found it interesting. I promise we'll get to 100-year text comments coming up. But I was looking at the roster composition for each of these guys, and we always talk about in-states, right? It's a big deal for Arkansas in-state. It's not just Arkansas, y'all. It's also the Final Four teams. Think about this. So the best player for UConn, Don McClingan, is from the 4-letter network. He's from Bristol, right there, home of ESPN. So Clingan for UConn, their best player. Listen, I know Tristan Newton's good. I know Cam Smith. The best player for that team's Donovan Clingan. Then you look at Mark Sears, who is, I think, the lone player from Alabama that actually gets a lot of playing time. Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Apparently, there's a really good golf course down there that we need to go try, Dom. It's on the Robert Jones. What's it called? The Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail.
There's a lot of good golf courses.
Yeah, we need to go play that. And it's some in the near point of the future. Then you look at Purdue. Purdue's got 11 guys from Indiana. 11 key players like Fletcher Lawyer, Trey Kaufman-Wren, and others. Braden Smith, the Arkansas connection, whose mom's from here. I think she might have played ball here. And then the two most notable players on North Carolina State, Tommy, DJ Horn, their outstanding point/shooting guard, and then also DJ Burns. What does that say? Well, it tells me that it's not just an Arkansas thing, that it tells me you still have to have in-state talent at any institution. Not just Arkansas, but any institution. And it's not just basketball, that you could go across the board in sports. And there's currently not a single Arkansas guy, at least a scholarship player, on your roster right now from the state of Arkansas. And there's 7, I think, roster spots open with the addition of the UMass kid earlier this week. We'll have to see how that plays out and who they add. But, again, 4 Final Four teams, all key contributors from their home state, and in some cases, right up the road from the college of where they're at. It's going to be like that. I know NIL and the transfer portal have changed things, but that is going to continue to be like that in college sports. I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Well, and Arkansas's got, of all the sports, you're deeper per capita compared to roster spots, and sometimes in just sheer numbers with basketball than you are football. There's been some good in-state kids for baseball, but you're able to recruit more than regionally. I mean, they've gotten players out of California. They're getting players all over the country. I mean, I hate to say you select instead of recruit, but Arkansas in baseball that's the closest sport where you're selecting, not recruiting. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty obvious. But yeah, I mean, you still got to have an in-state element. We talked last year ad nauseum about the fact that you got to have experienced players. Go to the portal. Don't get true. You don't want to rely on true freshmen. What's the mix going to be this year when we look at it and say, all right, how do you construct this roster? For Arkansas, it's back to the roots of defense. But, I still think experience and physical maturity matter a lot. You're still seeing that. And you got to have a true 5. You got to have someone like Burns, like Edey, these big guys inside that can take over the low block and be a real problem down there.
So think about the rosters right now, not just the in-state, but the center aspect. Pringle for Alabama, Edey for Purdue, Clingan for UConn, and Burns for NC State. All dominant big men. Now, Pringle's a little skinnier than the other guys, but he's still thick. And I know Sears hit 7 threes, but Pringle was the guy that won them the game against Clemson and got Hall fouled out and their other big men in foul trouble. That was the key player. You've got to have that impactful guy down low. I know Makai Mitchell was that at times this season, but it was not consistent enough, unfortunately, for this basketball team. Would have loved to have him back, but he's exhausted his eligibility. So on the subject of this basketball team, what is going on right now with Eric Muselman? Well, here's Hunter Yurchek, your athletics director, on this First Recruit, One Recruit podcast, some podcast out of California. I don't know why he did this. We can get into that coming up, but just listen to what he said about what's going on with Eric Muselman right now.
That was a video that was recorded a few years ago. That video was probably 30 or 40 seconds in length, and we edited that down. I had our communication staff edit that down. As you guys alluded to, Coach Muselman, much to his success, has been rumored for multiple jobs that have been open here in this offseason, and he's still the basketball coach as we sit here today and record this podcast at the University of Arkansas. He has been well taken care of in his past contracts, where he's had a couple of extensions in the past few years and six-figure increases. There's not a new contract in place for him this year, but that video was just to kind of dispel some of the rumors that, hey, he's still our basketball coach. Now, this may change tomorrow. You'll have to ask Coach Muselman that, but we very much want him to be an Arkansas Razorback. We feel like where his contract currently sits, he's compensated in the top 12 to 15 coaches in the country. He's earned that compensation and done a great job. And that video was nothing more than an athletic director trying to have a little bit of fun with some fan bases and naysayers that saying, hey, Coach Muselman's leaving. Well, he may be leaving, but right now he's still here and he's still our basketball coach and he's still driving the bus.
So I don't think there's a lot of lies in what Hunter Yurchek said. Where I come from is, why are you going on some random podcast that no Arkansas fans? If you're trying to reach Arkansas fans, why not go on a statewide radio show? Why not go on a television network? Why not go on a place where Arkansas fans consume the content? Because a lot of you this morning at 6:42 here on a Bandwagon Tuesday are hearing that for the first time. The first time you're hearing Hunter Yurchek publicly talk about the coaching situation at Arkansas. And me personally, I don't think that's how it should be. Now, some have just ripped Hunter Yurchek to shreds for this. I'm not behind the scenes there here in Fayetteville with the athletics department. I don't know the rationale or reasoning he decided to do that. I think could be better ways that he's going about doing it. But a lot of what he said, I think Arkansas fans expected to hear, and now they just publicly heard.
I'll say this. I was pretty convinced that Muselman was going to stay, and I understand what Hunter was trying to do. He just sense of humor, trying to lighten the mood a little bit. But I'm telling you what, all that did was worry me. Like I'm more convinced now that he may not return.
What did it do for you? And I don't know if you're hearing that.
Well, I mean, it didn't instill the confidence. And again, well, is the deal done? What deal? He comes back to the contract. He's got a contract in place. He's well compensated. He's in the top 15 nationally. I don't know where that'll rank after, these coaches that are having good postseason runs. You think Nate Oates didn't get a raise and extension? Obviously, Rick Barnes can probably, dictate some of the terms of what he wants. He's at a point in his career he's not worried about having a 10-year deal. But just looking inside this conference, I don't think the contract for Eric Muselman's an issue, and I don't know how much of it's an issue on his side. How do you go and demand or ask for a raise or an extension after the season you had? He's got tools. He's got resources. It's not like they're underfunded. I think this is a bunch to do about nothing as far as whether or not, he needs some kind of reassurance in a financial sense to remain here as the head coach. Every job that's come open, Louisville, SMU, USC, USC because of the California connection. All you need to know about the Southern Cal job is their coach left for SMU. I mean, what does that tell you about that job? That's all you need to know about it right there. So there's not a job that's been open to this point, in my opinion, that's better than the one Eric Muselman has now. Financially, where it's at in basketball, ability to recruit. You've been mentioning in-state recruiting. And I know California's California. Kentucky's Kentucky. But you're going to live in the shadow of that Wildcat program if you're at Louisville. Obviously, that wasn't a step he wanted to take. So is there a better job that's been opened than the Arkansas job? In my estimate, no. And I don't think that's homering up.
Couple texts here on the McLarty Daniel hotline in response to the video that we just played from Hunter Yurchek and the One Recruits podcast. Dang, Hunter, two hands pushing Muss under the bus. That might change tomorrow. Eric from Fayetteville saying Hunter Yurchek editing the video and posting it without communication with Eric Muselman is just a really bad decision. He can 100% understand why Eric Muselman would be upset with the video being released, especially with the status being uncertain if Eric Muselman is here or not. in my opinion, I've said this several times since this ongoing situation has occurred, is that Muss is as savvy as it gets with social media, and there's still been no communication from him on any of this, which is just odd to me. Now, there might not be anything there. There might not be a single shred of truth to why it's odd, or it's in the midst of that. That is just weird to me. And I think for a lot of you, if you actually think about it, it's odd to you as well, right? I mean, this is a guy that posts all the time, in season, off season. I mean, that's his nature, and it's been successful for him. But with the current status of his job, you would just think there would be even the slightest bit of reassurance to the fan base that he's staying here in it.
It didn't have the effect he thought it would. Let's just put it that way. I don't think it resonated with Muselman even like he thought it would.
Yeah, JT Hot Springs said he was just having fun with the other fan bases. Hunter Yurchek, when asked again a follow-up to his response, here's what he said about that.
That is my sense of humor coming across. That was not something that was a coordinated or collaborated effort between myself and Coach Muselman. My communications team did a great job kind of cutting and splicing that video together from a previous video we had put out a few years ago, and just kind of reused that as we headed into the Easter weekend.
So that was his response. If you've got some thoughts, again, you can jump in here on the McLarty Daniel hotline this morning at 877-377-6963. But for now, it's that time of the morning here on a Tuesday, CJ's Trivia Tuesday.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
It's delicious. There must be 50 customers out there. It's unbelievable.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
So I had to look this up legitimately because I didn't know the answer. We were talking about the Final Four earlier and the games this weekend in Phoenix, Arizona. You got upcoming games in Indianapolis and Dallas and the next couple years where the Final Four will take place. You're hoping that Arkansas will be featured in one of those Final Four. In 1994, you went to Charlotte, North Carolina, and won the national championship over Duke. In 1990, you went to Denver, and I'm forgetting where you went in 95. I had the other two jotted down, but you remember where you played in 95?
Oh, Vietnam,
and lost
Seattle.
to UCLA. It was Seattle?
Seattle.
Okay, well, that's three. Here's our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question. The only way you can answer this is via phone, not text. Call us at 877-377-6963. Where did you play the 78 Final Four? I didn't know this. I had to look this up. I've heard about that game. I know you won the third place game. I think Ron Brewer hit a shot over Notre Dame.
On someone's campus.
But what city? I
think I know, but I won't say.
What city did you play the 1978 Final Four? Again, our number is 877-377-6963.
Is it Pine Bluff?
What city? It's not
It's
Pine
not
Bluff.
Pine Bluff, okay.
It is not Pine Bluff. And I think that some of you...
Is it Shreveport?
It's not Shreveport.
It's not Shreveport.
It's not Shreveport, Louisiana either. I think some of you will be surprised at the answer because I know I was. And I couldn't remember the 95. I knew the other.
And that was back in the day when you played, because you'd see these old clips. U.S. Reed shot's a good example. What floor was that on? Because we've all seen it a million times. You had that big Longhorn out
Texas,
there.
yeah, in Austin.
You play in, on campus at schools' plays. Now they're all, put out for bid. Cities and, visitors bureaus, bid on these chambers of commerce kind of things because they're major economic draws anymore. So I kind of miss those days, but I understand why they don't do it too.
Yeah, we got several texts that are correct. Again, you've got a call, and we're answering this call right now. I think that based on the call volume, that this was an easier question. Last week I asked a more difficult question. This week it's kind of like mid. Like some of you will know off the top of your head. Some of you have to think about it a little bit. Again, I had to
lines are full.
Look up and research it this morning where there was play. But think about the Final Four locations. If you had to, and I'm not going to reveal the fourth one, but between Denver, Seattle, and Charlotte, what city would you like to go to of those three?
Been to Charlotte, been to Denver.
Charlotte.
I'll be honest, I don't have much desire to go to Seattle. So
not see the fish market?
No.
I would like to. So originally that was where our golf trip was planned. It's now planned in Tampa, where it's going to be like 110 degrees in July. Don't ask me why. We figured out why it was so cheap, because it's going to be 115 degrees when we tee off at 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. We're going to Tampa.
Oh,
so it's going to be we actually, you'll like this. We're playing at Copperhead where the Valspar was just played. That's where we got a deal at. So that is and I was texting
I thought that
Clay,
was this past weekend. I thought they were in Houston.
I don't know if it was last year or this. I think it was this. No, that was the Houston Open. The Valspar was the weekend before.
Oh,
So,
okay.
all right, Christian, who we got on line one?
Joe in Fort Smith.
Joe in Fort Smith. Again, our
What's the
CJ's
question?
trivia question. Where did Arkansas play in the 1978 Final Four? Joe, the answer is
St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri is correct. We've got your information. The others I kind of knew off the top of my head, I'd seen the Seattle sweatshirt before the 95. You just kind of had to jog my memory there. I had no clue until I looked that up yesterday. So, Joe, you are correct, as many other texters were on the McLarty Daniel hotline this morning. And our CJ's Trivia Tuesday is brought to you by our friends at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. Every Tuesday, we give away a $25 gift card, courtesy of our friends Keith Wilson and their team over at CJ's. You can see them at the Fayetteville location off Weddington and stop by and see them in the drive-thru and the curbside, or you can eat it to go or in the dine-in. And then Keith and Sally at the Russellville location, the original off Arkansas Avenue, which I passed on the way back from Little Rock this weekend. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. Let me tell you, they are at CJ. So St. Louis had the SEC basketball tournament a few years back. They kind of did that anomaly year. St. Louis had it once, and then Tampa has it once, but it's going to be in Bridgestone. I know it happened in 2008. You'd love for Little Rock, or I don't think Northwest Arkansas or whatever. You'd love to host an NCAA tournament side again. I just don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Well, I mean, first of all, your city's got to want it. You got to go bid for it. You got the facility. They like moving them around the country. And as long as you have an NBA-style arena and suites, you probably stand a chance to get it. The bids are very competitive, but it's really about next level or premium seating anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why these NBA cities and NBA arenas are really so attractive to everybody, because the NCAA makes money off that stuff too. Hey, we're brought to you by the Fence Man, the company we love and trust when it comes to anything involving fencing and gates. I had to go to my kids' high school last night for a parent meeting for football, and there was some work there the Fence Man had done when they put up fencing and gates, and then a controlled access walkthrough gate that had a code on it that if they want to give the kids or teachers, whoever, codes to get into that walkthrough gate, they can do it. And it was all very nice ornamental iron that had been powder coated, looked great. And that's the kind of work they can do for you. Big or small, they can take care of you, whether it's a school or whether it's your home or your business. 782-3936 for the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Hour 2, Bandwagon Tuesday, coming up next.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and downtowns for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call the Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
This is the Morning Rush.
How do I drive more traffic to my website? How do I increase my Google rankings? If these are just a few of the questions you have for your business, then we should talk. In addition to sports radio marketing, ESPN Arkansas can help your business be found online. From website design to geo-targeted campaigns, search engine marketing, social media management, streaming video campaigns, and much more. ESPN Arkansas is your digital marketing partner. Go to espnarkansasdigital.com for your free digital marketing audit, or email us at sales@hitthatline.com to schedule an appointment.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where it's spring cleaning time. The lot is blooming with fresh road-ready certified inventory and weekly specials that could save you up to $4,000. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade today and save up to $4,000 during spring cleaning at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bushville. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushville. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Ark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Ark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything. Service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds across the north. Temperatures will fall through the mid-50s. We should see sunshine south. Temperatures will fall from 70 into the middle 60s. And we're looking at a decrease in the cloud cover tonight. Overnight lows in the low 40s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
There's not a new contract in place for him this year. That video was just to kind of dispel some of the rumors that, hey, he's still our basketball coach. Now, this may change tomorrow. You'll have to ask Coach Muselman that, but we very much want him to be an Arkansas Razorback. We feel like where his contract currently sits, he's compensated in the top 12 to 15 coaches in the country. He's earned that compensation and done a great job. And that video was nothing more than an athletic director trying to have a little bit of fun with some fan bases and naysayers that saying, hey, Coach Muselman's leaving. Well, he may be leaving, but right now he's still here and he's still a basketball coach and he's still driving the bus.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
And we welcome you back to hour number 2 here on a Bandwagon Tuesday. Heard Hunter Yurchek's comments concerning Eric Muselman and this basketball program, something we will get into later on this hour. But I know a hot button topic from last night was the outcome of the Iowa LSU game where Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes moved on in a 7-point victory over Angel Reese, Kim Mulkey, and the LSU Tigers, a game which Reese fouled out, a game which there were plenty of comments both during the game and after the game that we will get into as we start hour number 2.
1st of April, the Arkansas Highway Safety Office wants to remind you that distracted driving is dangerous and it's against the law. And when you're driving, pay attention to the road. If you're driving while using your device to text or scroll through social media, you're what is defined as a distracted driver. And since 2011 through 2020, more than 32,000 Americans lost their lives in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. And the problem is only getting worse, as we know. So what can you do about it? Whatever you have to, remove the temptation, put your phone away or turn it to do not disturb, or let someone else in the car be the designated texter. It's just not that important. It can wait. Pull over, park, use your device safely. There's no excuse for putting other people at risk with distracted driving. When you're driving, pay attention to the road. Remember this, Arkansas, put the phone away or pay. This is brought to you by the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office.
It was all Caitlin Clark last night.
Clark connects. Clark, you bet. Clark looking to turn the corner, lays it in, plus the foul. Clark was trying to redirect a pass. Clark, oh my, from Schenectady. Clark wheels around, evades Van Lith, and drains it.
We could do that for another 2 minutes or so. She ends her night with 41 points, 12 assists, and 7 rebounds as her team moves on, defeating and avenging last year's national championship against Angel Reese. On the other side, not a great night for Angel Reese, who ends up I say not a great night. She ended up having a double-double, but for her standards, a little less than what she needed. Ended up fouling out in the game last night.
Here's Reese. Reese leans in, and that's a charge. And number 5 on Angel Reese.
So LSU, Kim Mulkey, Plage Johnson, Angel Reese go down, and their fans are ticked off and hacked off and angry. But a lot of college basketball fans are happy at what occurred last night. I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping LSU would move on. Even last night, I was getting irritated by the annoying things Caitlin Clark does, but she is about as good.
I didn't think it was as bad last night as it's been in some of the other games I've watched her play. I thought she's a little more focused or contained or whatever you want to say. But here was a thought I had as the game rolled on. You were watching that game because it had star power for women's basketball. Had a star coach, 3-star players that are making a huge amount of money in NIL. Can the women's game sustain this? Can they find the next wave of stars to make a game like last night that's not even a Final Four game? A regional final, appointment TV. Now, we watched because there was star power in that game last night. Is there another wave of stars coming? Would any of this had happened if Angel Reese hadn't pointed to her ring finger and wasn't doing the deal in front of her face? What is this? You're a young guy.
Can't touch me, can't see me,
can't touch
see me.
If none of that had happened last year in the championship game, would you have watched last night? Probably not. Wouldn't have been as big a deal. So where's the next wave of stars coming to sustain the popularity we're seeing in the short term for women's basketball?
So do you know who Brianna Stewart is?
Nope.
Okay. Brianna Stewart is a 4-time national champion, a 4-time national champion MVP. Played at UConn under Gina Auriemma, and you have no clue who she is. No clue.
Rebecca Lobo did the game last night. Know that name? So.
Where'd she play?
UConn, wasn't it?
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm like. That's the best player in college women's history, and you have no clue who she is. And that was less than a decade ago.
Caitlin Clark's not the best player.
She's the best scorer, but she's not the best player. She hadn't won a national championship. She hadn't won a national championship. She's all-time leading scorer. She's not the best player. She's not even close. That the girl I just mentioned won 4 national championships and 4 MVPs.
Well, I didn't. Okay, but
4 years.
Yeah. But my point is, where's the next wave of stars? Does it take controversy? Does it take some of the friction we had last year in that championship game to propel it? Is this NIL stuff enough? I don't know. I don't have the answer. I wonder, because I've enjoyed this. Now, am I enjoying it more because our men's team has not lived up to a level of expectation we expect? So we're seeking out something? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just know that there's been a couple of occasions now, me and some buddies have gotten together and, made an appointment to watch Caitlin Clark and watch Iowa. And last night was a game we weren't going to miss.
It's the women's version of Bird Magic.
Well,
40 years later.
Yeah,
or 45 or whatever it was. I guess they did in 79. It's the women's version of that. You've got 2 different players, different styles, different backgrounds, it's what it is. And
there's not just another Caitlin Clark out there. I mean, she's a generational talent.
Mm-hmm. Based on who I just mentioned, that you have no, I'm going to say no. Like you can't you can't manufacture personalities and controversy. It has to be organic, like this was in the past year and a half or so. And I don't blame Angel Reese for not liking it. And there was a sportsmanship like moment when they congratulated them in the huddle. I'll commend Caitlin Clark for doing that, and Angel Reese for doing that.
I was hoping she was going to run by the bench and point to her ring finger
and just add to it.
That's what I was hoping.
She hadn't won a ring yet. She's had in the Final Four. You had Paige Buchers, or however you say her name. UConn defeated the talented freshman from USC last night. So you got a loaded lineup. I mean, you got UConn, you've got South Carolina, you've got Iowa, and then NC State are the 4 women's teams. And then we've talked about the men's pretty exhaustively this week, so who you got to set up there. So it should be an entertaining women's Final Four. You're hoping Caitlin Clark makes it and they play South Carolina, but you've got a good Final Four matchup with them at Buchers, who are 2 of the better players in college basketball this year. Yeah. But I don't think so. I hope I'm wrong, but based on that, I don't think so.
Yeah. I have found my new go-to item at Joe's Grill and Cantina. I kind of expanded out on the menu the other night over the weekend and found something that is now my new favorite at Joe's. It's Taco Tuesday, by the way, at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Brisket fajitas. They have put that on the menu. They got brisket, and then when they were taking my orders, they said, would you like to add bacon? Well, why not? Bacon makes everything better. But, Ty, you can now get brisket fajitas, and there's a variety of different fajitas that are really next level at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Their steak is charbroiled. Their chicken is charbroiled, so it's got that flavor that you're looking for, the way you'd fix it at home. The vegetables are outstanding. But check out the full lineup of all of their fajita varieties, including my new favorite. I don't even need the tortillas and all the fixes. Just give me that skillet of brisket and onions and peppers. It was outstanding. Taco Tuesday today, Nacho Average Wednesday tomorrow. They'll have a throwback Cuco's platter on Thursday, and then fajita Friday. All the fajitas will be on special as well. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps and Fort Smith.
Morning Rush, daily question when we return.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former Razorback Trey Wade, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Nukes. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and downtowns for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
This is the Morning Rush.
All the road hogs have the hog calls and the tailgate ready to roll.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Diamond Center is proud to present our inaugural Whiskey and Watches event. Now is your chance to get your hands on that timeless timepiece you've been dreaming of. Between now and Thursday, April 25th, in our Fort Smith store, call or stop by to pre-order your watch. Then join us on Thursday, April 25th for a night of celebration featuring rare whiskeys, cigars, and luxury watches. This is your opportunity to add that watch that you've always had an eye on to your collection. For more information or to pre-order your watch today, give us a call. The Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
How do I drive more traffic to my website? How do I increase my Google rankings? If these are just a few of the questions you have for your business, then we should talk. In addition to sports radio marketing, ESPN Arkansas can help your business be found online. From website design to geo-targeted campaigns, search engine marketing, social media management, streaming video campaigns, and much more. ESPN Arkansas is your digital marketing partner. Go to espnarkansasdigital.com for your free digital marketing audit, or email us at sales@hitthatline.com to schedule an appointment.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
So it's Bandwagon Tuesday, and I'm on the bandwagon of someone else doing my taxes, which I've yet to do on April the 2nd. And I guess the due day is, April the 15th as we welcome in Bruce Stan to Pride Cove Fishing. Tommy, have you finished your taxes yet?
No, but I did scan and upload 98% of what my accountant needs to him yesterday.
Okay,
so
you're pretty much
as
done.
of yesterday, I got 2 other items I got to get him. But and I've got those items. I just got to get them to him. So now it's in his hands at this point.
Bruce, have you finished your individual tax? I don't know on the business side, but have you finished your individual taxes just yet?
Wyatt and I are like Tommy. We've turned that over to our accountant.
Yeah.
So that's
that's
good hands.
I'm ahead of schedule, I feel like.
So
April 1, it's all in the
April 1,
account.
that's pretty good.
Man, but I'll be honest, one of the last things I needed from an outside party, was just one of those deals I needed.
Well, you got Tommy's
1099.
attention. You said you got Ty's attention. You said outside party.
Well, yeah, he heard the word party. I didn't get in the mail till Saturday.
Wow.
So, I mean, sometimes you can't get it done because you're waiting on other people.
Ty's got a 1-pager. That's easy.
No, I have a K1 thingamajig that I have to do, and
do
some
you?
other,
that's
some
easy,
others.
though. I mean, that's not
Come
a big
on,
deal.
man. You don't have
I get this-
dependents and all that.
I get this
complicated
booklet.
stuff.
I get this booklet for my account, and then I have to fill out all this stuff, and there's these little nooks and crevices I try and get so the government doesn't just rip me up over a new one when it comes to taking my money.
You already
So,
paid your taxes. It comes out of your paycheck.
but there's other
Hey,
stuff.
Just
It's
inflate-
above your head. It's above. It's
inflate
above.
inflate your
Thank you.
contribution. That way you always get a return.
Lie to the government?
No. You're misunderstanding.
Oh, yeah. I know
Pay
what you're
more
saying.
taxes than you need to
Okay.
pay, and then you always get a return.
So I guess our Morning Rush Daily question is, have you finished your taxes? Tommy's almost done. I haven't started
I'm not almost
yet.
done. I've turned it over.
Yeah. Well, you said you're 98% of the way that you have to turn over, and you just have one more thing you got, or 1 or 2 more things you have to turn in, and then Bruce, you haven't, or you have. I'm sorry.
We've turned ours in.
Yeah.
We've turned ours in. We're
So-
just waiting. That they give you those little pointer things where you sign your name.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Just have to do the signature. I have this booklet that my accountant gives me that I check things off, fill things out, and then send it to him, and then he takes it from there. I'm going to try and complete all of that today. Usually it takes me about 2 hours or so, but I think I have all the necessary materials with me. But I am on the bandwagon. I know some do it through TurboTax and some through some other places. I'll pay someone else to do it. I want to wash my hands clean of that. I
Good
don't.
accountant pays for themselves.
You're waiting awful late in the game to make this decision.
Well, I just got, like Tommy was talking about the sheet he needed. I needed that one K1 thingamajig sheet.
What 2 things are always coming, Ty?
Taxes and death.
Death and taxes.
Death
They're
and
always
ta-
coming.
Death, yeah, death, taxes are the things that you cannot avoid, unfortunately. But I think it's this late in the game. Hopefully there's nothing I screwed up, because if I screw it up, I only have 2 weeks to fix it, and really it's like a week before.
The feds aren't going to come after you.
I hope
man.
not.
There's bigger fish to fry.
There's this little thing you can also do called an extension.
That's right.
Yeah, that would make sense. But I'm a guy that likes to get stuff done and cross it off my checklist and not have to come back to it down the road. We got Tyler in Fayetteville, or Tyler Greenwood, saying, what are taxes? And he says, lie to the government because they always lie to us. Andy Mountain Home has filed for an extension. And Jamie May says he pays over $25,000 throughout the year for his check, so that way he gets that money back. Like
you're the expense
discussing.
report king. Do you keep that throughout the year and turn it in on your taxes? Like, do you have a big folder full of those?
Well, I get paid back for that. So am I supposed to? I don't
just
know.
asking.
I don't. I think I get.
Can't double dip. You can't double dip.
I just wanted to see what he'd say.
I was going to say I get reimbursed for that, so I don't think I'm a credit. I don't think that's credible to put on it. But the mileage, I think I put the mileage on there, but not any actual payment of anything, because it subtracts from what the. Is that right? I'm still learning. I know it's hard to believe that at 29 years old you can.
You'll
still
learn a lot during an audit.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't have any IRS people listening. But it sounds like, according to
they're not listening anymore. They're taking notes.
they're everywhere. They're figuring out where they can hit and whatnot. So that's your morning rush.
That's Ty with an E, by the way.
Yeah.
T-Y-E.
Yeah, and
Richardson. Common spelling. Yeah.
So, well, if I get implicated, that means you get implicated. So that's probably not something you won't have to deal with either. Because don't you have jury? Are you still doing jury duty?
Yep.
Hey,
April's the end of it.
Okay, so it hasn't taken too much of your time, has it? I haven't heard you talk about it in like a month.
I was out of town both times they actually needed a jury.
Oh, well, that's
so
tough.
I'm kind of hoping they call us one more time, and I'm actually not on spring break,
No.
Anyway.
All right, that is your Morning Rush Daily Question presented by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs.
Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
So, did you watch the Iowa and LSU game last night?
Of course.
What did you think?
The best player won the game. Caitlin scored 41. She outscored Bayou Barbie, and Flauze Johnson by herself is 41-40.
Did you say Bayou Barbie?
Bayou Barbie. Come on, that's what they call
See,
her.
I like that. I actually
Bayou
like that
Barbie.
nickname.
Yeah.
Not that,
Tommy didn't know. I couldn't believe he didn't know the history of women's basketball.
Well,
You're in here schooling him on who played where. And
Listen,
Rebecca Lobo played.
Just beat me.
UConn, by
Okay,
the way.
I'm going to be honest. There's no one on this earth that's less credible than me when it comes to discussing the history of women's
You could have
basketball.
just dropped it less credible.
Yeah, that too. But that is just an example, like the greatest women's college basketball player ever set foot on this earth. You didn't know who she was, and I wouldn't have known who she was if she hadn't played in this past decade. That's just, you hope this sport expands, but it's not a. It's difficult when you go up against the men this time of year when there are massive NCAA tournament draws. We haven't seen what the ratings were last night, but it led into another good game. I mean, UConn and USC was a good game last night too.
Unless you were a fan of a team in the Elite Eight, last night was a lot more compelling than the men's tournament. I thought that was a script written must watch night at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching women's basketball.
Oh, we got pizza, cocktails, basketball. I mean, and that's not the first time we've done it to watch Caitlin Clark. Yeah. So no, last night was, must see TV. And my question earlier is, how do you sustain this if you're the women's game? Ty's right. These have to be organic personalities through organic controversy. Kim Mulkey by herself, while she's fun to watch get beat, from my vantage point, she's not enough to sustain this surge in popularity. Where's it coming from next?
I think she is.
By herself?
She's more
without
compelling.
Angel Reese?
She's more compelling than any men's coach in the game.
Is Kara Lawson going to end up in Knoxville, you think?
Yeah, they fired their coach.
They're you go 5 years in a row, win 20 games, back-to-back Sweet 16s, top 4 in your conference. Most coaches get extensions for going to 2 straight Sweet 16s. Tennessee women's job, you get fired.
Because she didn't get past the Sweet 16.
That's right. But most places, like up here, he'd like to have that resume.
Put his name on the court and do that. Yeah.
So what do you think about that was we know the women's Final Four featuring UConn, South Carolina, Iowa, and help me on the last one, and NC State. What do you think about the men's setup this weekend after NC State defeats Duke? I think this is a pro DJ Burns show, so if you don't like DJ Burns, we're going to have to figure it out.
But DJ's going to get his clock cleaned by Zach Edey. I mean, look here, I dealt with it. I mean, there was
They don't call any fouls on him.
Well, the guy got fouled a lot. I mean, they probably could have called 10 more fouls. He's the Shaq. I mean, Tommy's played against big guys. I remember when Jalen Williams played at Northside, he'd look at someone and they'd call a foul on him.
Really?
I'm like, seriously? No, I give the big guy the benefit of the doubt, because when you see the scratches on their neck and arms from all the punishment they take, we got beat. I mean, the best player won. The second best player, was our player.
By the way, they clinched it. I don't know if you saw the Thunder clinch playoff spot the other night,
Yeah.
so I was pumped about it.
There's only one team that's made the playoffs more than the Thunder since they moved to Oklahoma City. Only one. Do you know who it is?
Spurs?
Boston. No, Spurs ain't been in the playoffs.
I was going to guess Warriors.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the Warriors would have been.
They were trash before Curry got there.
There's going to be a lot of we got our Lindsay and Associates Pro Hog update coming up. There's going to be a lot of Razorbacks that have implications on these NBA playoffs, not just Isaiah and Jalen, but a lot of other guys that I'm excited to kind of see how it plays out.
I'm veering way off here, but at some point, if I got free time, I'd like to put together a roster from each state. I think Arkansas's NBA roster would be as impressive as anyone's. There's so many international players in the game now. I mean, when you think about the great players from the state of Arkansas, not that just played at Arkansas, I think you put a heck of a roster out that might beat most states.
Well, they deleted the G League Ignite team, or they dissolved it because Silver was talking about it's like these players that are coming from overseas are more skilled, more basketball savvy than some of these other guys that aren't as fundamental. So that will be an element they're trying to improve stateside here in Arkansas.
When you get
not in Arkansas, but
when you get the 4 or 5 best off a continent, then
Yeah.
You're going to get good players from over there. Yeah. You're hand picking the 4 or 5 best out of how many billion people?
No doubt.
So, and that's not just one continent. It's Asia. It's
all
Europe. It's all of them. So, I mean, it's not like, yeah, is there? But when you look at it in the real numbers, how many players is it? In a draft that's coming from overseas, 6 or 8.
It's more than that now. It's more than that now.
I was going to say it's increased.
That's more than that.
Okay, whatever.
I'd say half the first round is international players now.
Okay, so let's just say it's because there's 40. How many picks are in the 2 rounds combined?
There's 32
60.
teams, 30
60
teams?
picks,
60.
right?
Yeah.
So if it's half, I mean, it's still 30 players out of, all of Europe and Asia and everywhere else around the world. So of course those players are going to be good. That's their whole goal. I mean, it's kind of like women's golf in Asia. Their whole goal is to get to the LPGA.
Yeah.
That's why they've taken over the sport.
Well, they're the best baseball team in North America, at least collegiately, is the Arkansas Razorbacks, not just in the SEC, but across it, as they are the unanimous #1 as of this morning, as of yesterday. So let's get into our now baseball edition of Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Who are the best baseball teams in the SEC? Let's find out.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
This is the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Of the 3 sports, we rank the Pradco Pyramid of Power. I think this is the hardest one to get started. Now, the top is pretty easy right now, but you've got 10 teams ranked in the top 23 in the country. 10 teams in the poll, and I don't think you can just go 1 through 6 in that poll and go that way. But I do think when you look at, let's see, there's 5 teams right now in the top 7 in the country. Is that right?
Which ranking
1,
are we
3,
going
4,
by?
6, 7. D1
There's
baseball.
There's like 15 of them.
D1 baseball is the one I looked
D1
at.
baseball. Okay.
But you got number 1, number 3, number 4, number 6, and number 7, all in this conference.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. All right, pretty obvious. Arkansas's number 1 at the top, and it's fun to say when you're not just homering up or finding an angle. I mean, it's pretty clear. Arkansas at 23-3, 8-1 in league play. Kentucky's also got an 8-1 record on the eastern side, but Arkansas with series sweeps over Missouri and LSU and 2 of 3 against Auburn. Pretty clear to me Arkansas's number 1 in the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
There's no question. I mean, hey, we're going to have a Pradco Pyramid of Power for the entire season, and Arkansas is actually going to be in this one the whole time.
I hope so. Something disastrous would have to happen. I've got A&M at number 2. 25-3. They're 6-3. They lost 2 of 3 against Florida. They swept Auburn and last weekend took care of Mississippi State 2 out of 3. I got A&M right now, and that's going to be a huge series coming up for Arkansas later on. Arkansas 1. I got A&M at number 2.
Well, we're already disagreeing.
All right.
I mean, Kentucky's a baseball school now. Wildcats have won 5 in a row. Like you said, they're 8-1. They've won every series. They swept Ole Miss in Oxford last week. Mm-hmm. Now they're playing small ball. They lead the SEC in stolen bases with 68. And I know Arkansas doesn't need to steal bases, but they've stolen 45 more bases than Arkansas at this point.
Wow.
All right. So you've got Kentucky, too. I don't even have Kentucky in my top 6 right
You're
now.
wrong.
Well, might be. We'll talk about it coming up. I got Florida at number 3. 6th ranked in the country, 16-11. Series wins over A&M, LSU, and Mississippi State. Their schedule may be the most impressive. I know their record's not at 16-11 compared to some other schools in this league. They're 6-3, just like A&M, just like Vanderbilt. But when you look at who they've played, Florida with wins over A&M, LSU, and Mississippi State, that's a very top-heavy, very rich schedule through 3 weekends.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to do what you did. I didn't have Florida in my top 6. I just couldn't get over they've lost 11 games already.
Well, and I went and looked up who is this to. They've lost to Miami. They did lose a non-con game to Stetson. They lost to Central Florida. They lost to St. Mary's out of California. They lost a game to Florida State, and then they've lost 3 SEC games. They do have 11 total losses. Some of those were very early in the year, but those were just the losses over the since early March.
Arkansas won't lose double digits all year, and they've already lost double digits. So Vanderbilt, I had at number 3.
Okay.
They've won 4 in a row. They did sweep a bad Missouri team, which everybody, I think Who's worse, Missouri basketball or Missouri baseball? It's terrible. The Vanderbilt I had number 3.
I got Vanderbilt at number 4. They got a record similar to Arkansas's, 23-6, but they're 6-3. Like I said, Auburn, South Carolina, Missouri. They got swept by South Carolina. And just kind of, I guess I'm going to chalk that up as to a bad weekend for Vanderbilt.
Must have been a bad week.
They were just off that weekend.
I had A&M, so I agree with you. They're in the top 6. I had them at number 4. They are 25-3. They've won 5 in a row. They swept Auburn, which is another terrible team. Arkansas has already played them. And you look for Evan Aschenbach, has the best ERA in the SEC, .094.
All right, so I got Arkansas, A&M, Florida, Vanderbilt, 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got Kentucky up there. I think we got them just pretty well mixed around. I got Tennessee at number 5. Tennessee's 24-5 of the year. They're 5-4 in league play, which isn't overly impressive. They're ranked 4th in the country. They've played Bama, Ole Miss, and Georgia to this point. Lost 2 of 3 to Alabama, took 2 of 3 from Ole Miss, and 2 of 3 from Georgia. Tennessee, I've got them at number 5.
Tennessee's all about offense. They're the best hitting team in the SEC. The team is averaging 332, so they're hitting.
Holy cow.
1 out of every 3 times up, somebody's getting a base hit in the Tennessee uniform. I had Alabama number 5, though. They took 2 out of 3 over number 18 South Carolina over the weekend, 21-7. I just felt like they're probably playing a little better overall than Tennessee right now.
All right, here's where you're really not going to like me. I got LSU at number 6.
I don't agree with that.
I know they're 20-10. I know they're 2-7. But, I mean, to me, just watching Tommy White, watching that team, they're going to be a problem for somebody in June. I may be wrong about that, but they've got 10 losses. 7 of those are to SEC schools. They lost 2 to Mississippi State, 2 to Florida, and 3 to Arkansas. You could see by how competitive they were in this series, LSU's a good ball club. I've got LSU. I think they're going to be a team that you got to deal with come June. I got LSU at number 6.
Well, I had Tennessee number 6. Obviously, we flip-flopped them. You had them number 5. I don't know. LSU isn't getting it done right now.
Not right now, but I think they're going to be there coming the end. I got Kentucky next, then Alabama, South Carolina, Mississippi State in that order. There's only 4 teams in the league not ranked, and that's Missouri, Georgia, Ole Miss, and Auburn. That's one reason I didn't put Kentucky in there is when they played Georgia and Missouri and Ole Miss, 3 teams that aren't ranked, 3 teams with 1-8, 4-5, and 3-6 records. That was the only thing that kept me from putting Kentucky in the top 6 is I don't think they played anybody
well,
yet.
If you use that criteria, I mean, Arkansas hadn't played anybody.
They played the
lower worst 3 teams in the SEC.
I was going to say in the bottom of the West.
I don't believe that. And I understand the standings, but I don't believe that have been against LSU or Auburn. You just go look at the results of what Auburn's
standings
done.
Don't matter.
Well,
he sounds like the NCAA.
It's early.
I was going to say you sound like the NCAA tournament.
Well, I got eyes, guys. I can watch. I mean, did you not see a good LSU?
I saw
them lose 3 games.
I saw them lose 3 games, and I just.
Do you think Arkansas is really good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Top dog, as DQ would like to say.
But losing's losing, winning's winning.
All right.
Listen, I think you've got to have Kentucky and you've got to have Alabama in this top 6. LSU, what are they now in the conference?
2-7.
Yeah.
Arkansas at Kentucky later in the year. That'll be a good series.
And the A&M. Your 2 of your toughest games are in Lexington and in College Station. Or 2 series, excuse me. That would have been I would have never guessed that looking at the season prior to, and now you look at it and you're like, man, those are going to be too tough. But yeah, I would have Bama and I would have Kentucky in my top 6. I don't know where.
Where'd you have Florida?
I didn't have them ranked.
You don't have Florida?
No, they're 16-11. Win some games.
They've won 6 league games,
but not in a row.
This is contentious. This is a lot better.
They have beaten A&M. They have beaten LSU and Mississippi State in 3 consecutive series.
2-1, 2-1, 2-1. I mean, there's just.
I think I like the baseball better than I did basketball. You guys didn't really get heated during basketball. This is.
I don't know how you leave Florida out.
I have one bias. I hate Florida. I hate Alabama, but I really hate.
How many rivals does Tennessee have?
Too many.
Yeah, I was going to say.
All of them over in the East.
Yeah.
So. All right, that's the Pradco Pyramid of Power. I think we've already discussed where we're right, where we're wrong. I don't agree with anything I got other than Arkansas number 1.
We both had Missouri last, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Auburn was 13th.
Based on, I mean, if we're just going to go down the records, yeah.
Okay. Well, then we agree.
I don't know. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to
to
spend a lot of time arguing who the worst teams are.
Do you want to break down LSU's loss to Southern last night, Tommy, for us?
I'll leave that to you. So need to go back and see because Auburn.
They lost to Southern
last night. Yeah.
Oh my.
Auburn's played Vandy, Arkansas, and who did Auburn play last weekend? I mean, Auburn's schedule at 1-8, I think their record at 1-8 is a little bit deceiving just based on who
they're 1-8.
played.
So there's no deceit about losing 8 games.
What's more likely, LSU continuing to spiral in the opposite direction, and them to rally and make it to Omaha, the defending national champion, I might add. What's more likely, Tommy?
Well, I think Omaha's more likely. I don't think they're going to spiral. I mean, define spiral for me.
Having a losing record in conference play and continuing to go.
I mean, there's going to be teams that probably make the postseason with a losing record in SEC play. So I would say spiraling would be less than 10 SEC wins.
Here's the only thing.
Out of 30.
The only thing that matters the rest of the year is Arkansas does not want to be ranked number 1 in the last poll. And they don't want to be the number 1 overall seed going into the tournament.
See,
Let Oregon State have that.
I disagree.
You don't want that.
I think Arkansas, the way that they have to win the national championship is kind of like the Boston Red Sox in 2004. You got to do it in the craziest way possible. The only way that you can get rid of this curse is to do it in the most
What curse are you getting rid of?
The fact that you haven't won a national championship, and this is supposedly
the number 1 seed.
Supposedly supposed to be one of the best baseball programs in the country, and some people think it is the best in the country, and you can't say that without a national championship on your resume. You have to do it the craziest way possible. The craziest way possible is to do it as the number 1 seed for the first time since 1999 and win the national championship.
I'll agree with that, but I don't think it's a curse at this point. So.
Well, I agree with what Tommy said earlier. You can peak too early. You can.
He's spot on.
You can get to the best baseball or any sport.
There's going to be a valley at some point. So,
and that's fine.
Yeah, but we've seen Ole Miss, Mississippi State win national titles not being the best team, and we're seeing NC State in basketball.
Yes, we are.
So I mean,
in Alabama, make it to the Final Four.
Got to be hot at the right time. All right, that's the Pradco Pyramid of Power. Water temperatures hopefully starting to warm up, but every time they get up there, then they get knocked back down.
Nah, they're on the bank. And you need to be throwing the Yum Dinger, famous Yum Dinger. I like the 30-pack because this has 8, this has 30, so you can get a lot more.
Better value.
Well, it is a better value. Yeah. You can see it's made right here in Fort Smith, Arkansas. This is Elder's Magic, named after Chris Elder in Mount Ida, Arkansas. He designed that color for us, one of my good buddies. That's the best color you can use right now on these highland reservoirs like Beaver, Table Rock, Broken Bow, Tin Killer. If you got any type of clear water situation, you want that green pumpkin watermelon blend with a little purple and little blue flake in it. That looks like a little bluegill messing around a bed, and bass can't stand it. 5-inch Yum Dinger, 1/0 wacky rig hook. Go down the bank and cast it up near anything around the bank, and you're going to catch a bunch of bass.
All right, sounds like a great time. Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. Get you something made by Pradco right here in Arkansas. Bruce, good to see you.
Good to see y'all.
Bruce Stanton with Pradco and one of their 20 great brands you can find near you. Talking about fishing, Gaston's is one of our places to go. Get that Smithwick original suspending rattling rogue and take it along with you to Gaston's, and that's going to be sure to put you on a big rainbow or trophy brown. Right now at Gaston's, they got 80 private cabins and lodges that you can find the perfect size and fit for your family. Fireplaces in many of those. Most have full kitchens as well. And, hey, I'm on vacation. I don't want to cook. No problem. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner in their wonderful, amazing restaurant that overlooks the White River. Get the perfect getaway for your family, or maybe it's a work trip. You need to plan a getaway in a convention. They got a big convention space or conference center on site as well. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Hey, this is Montex Brown, the former Razorback, and you listen to the Morning Rush.
Spring camping season.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust.
You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The tournament is here. BetOnline is your bracket headquarters for this season with the best bracket contests out there and odds, lines, and info on every game and every round right up to the national championship. You can access the most up-to-the-minute wagering information anytime from your desktop or your mobile device and even track your bracket real-time all the way through the tournament. Head to BetOnline today and get in on all the action. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The tournament is here. BetOnline is your bracket headquarters for this season with the best bracket contests out there. And
this is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So you got the red-white game next Saturday at 12 o'clock. And in addition to the red-white game, U of A made this announcement yesterday, there is going to be a car show where cars and trucks are going to be out there. Tommy, if you have like you have a classic car or truck that you've hoarded all these years? I didn't think so. I didn't think
you've been in my house. Did you see
I don't think I've been in your garage. So I didn't think that was a hobby of yours. But I know for some of you, that's something that you like to do. They're at Hogtown. They're going to have that, a concert, inflatables, food vendors. And here's the thing about this car show. Pre-registration is required if you want to showcase your car. All makes and models are welcome. And if you participate in this car show, you're going to get a free T-shirt plus 2 complimentary tickets for the Razorback home opener against UAB on Saturday, September the 14th. So I think that was
there. You go.
That was kind of cool. Does a 2017 Toyota Camry count as a classic? I don't think so. But that is the lone car that I have. Hopefully, I'll be able to drive that another 150,000 miles till it hits 300,000. But I know a lot of you, that is something like I know this is hard to believe, but I'm not a cars person or a grease monkey. But a lot of you enjoy that side of things. So if you have a classic car or truck, this is the weekend for you. Next weekend, before the Arkansas red-white game. And they did a little promo for it. Here is Cam Ball and Fernando Carmona Jr. talking about this upcoming red-white game.
What's going on, Razorback Nation? It's that time of the year. April 13th, spring game, right here. Razorback Stadium, white versus red. And you know what red gonna do. Stop it. You know what white's about to do. We're about to light up the scoreboard, baby. Be right here. Come on. Red.
One of the reasons I wanted to play that clip is because on hitthatline.com, you can find Clay Henry's inaugural article. Clay, or Tommy, you can kind of give the backstory of that. I woke up this morning.
Column.
Yeah, his column. I woke up this morning and was unaware that this was happening. I woke up and read. I thought Clay did a good job.
We didn't want to bog you down with minor details here around the company. We didn't want to distract you. So.
That's probably smart. There's bigger fish that has to be fried.
Absolutely. No, we're glad to have Clay writing a weekly column and his thoughts. And he was at practice last Saturday, and we'll have Clay available on our website once a week. We're going to still got a few little polishing things to do to make that look the way we want it, but it's available right now. Hitthatline.com. You'll see a deal up there for Clay Henry. Click on it, and you can read his thoughts each week on hitthatline.com about really whatever Clay wants to write about. Right now, it's going to be football, and I imagine next week it will be about the the upcoming red-white game in the next scrimmage.
And it's worth your time. I enjoyed it. I was reading it at like 4:30 this morning, but Clay always does a good job with anything he writes. And
he'll be here tomorrow. We'll talk about what he wrote.
And on the subject of the red,
if you'd like to sponsor Clay's column, call me.
Yeah. There it is.
There you go.
That always sound like Russ. Or call me, actually. I need the commission more than Tommy does. Tommy's got the houses. I'm just skating by. I'm just trying to get enough
You're
for
on thin
food,
ice too, buddy.
Food, water, and everything to make sure that I can make sure I'm cognitive in the morning. This Saturday, we mentioned next Saturday, the red-white game. You've got another scrimmage that you can attend this Saturday. You can start entering. The scrimmage is at 10:30. You can start entering at 9:30 in gate 14. You can bring in food. You can bring in drinks. They're not going to have concession stands open, but if you want to do that prior to the Ole Miss game. And by the way, it is another Thursday through Saturday series this weekend in Bob Walker Stadium. Don't ask me why there's seemingly an abnormal amount of these this year compared to, I don't know if that's a television thing or what.
Well, you had Easter weekend, but some teams played on Easter. But no, it's a TV thing. Just like last weekend, Arkansas LSU was on ESPN2 on Thursday, SEC Network Friday, and there'll be more of that. So, and that's kind of like basketball. They expect Arkansas to be good, so they're going to be putting a lot of those Thursday, Friday, Saturday series to be in a big spot on Thursday.
I'm on the bandwagon of enjoying Thursday through Saturday series. I think I'm not alone, but definitely the minority in that. I enjoy them more than I do Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I can go either way. I like Thursday when it's at home. because Thursday's a day I can probably go to the game a little easier than getting away on a Sunday to go to a game.
That makes sense.
I like it because, selfishly for our job, I can come in here on a Friday morning and talk about the game we just had the night before and how awesome Hagen Smith was.
Tyler Greenwood wants to know if he can bring beer to the scrimmage on. There wasn't any rule or anything that was
just
against
be incognito.
it. Yeah.
So.
Last thing, women's softball team got a Game 3 victory. They beat Georgia in their series in Athens. Their 9th straight consecutive SEC Road Series win. So Courtney Difel and company, when they go on the road, they are tough to beat. So congratulations to them last night. That is your Hog Update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Ben's here in Fayetteville this morning. He has some thoughts on NIL via the McLarty Daniel hotline. Ben, welcome in.
Hey, good morning, Ty. The NIL thing, I think the Drive for 5 email that Juracek sent out was ill-timed. They just raised ticket prices, 15%? The quality of the product over the last couple of years has dropped. Cost of everything is up. Normal people can barely afford to go to these games, and you're now pandering, or you want, quote, poor people to donate. You don't have to be rich to donate to this, is their messaging. And I just think the quality of the product isn't there. You've got a family of 4 that try to go to a game. It's going to be $400 or $500, and then you want them to chip in to help get these other players. I just don't see this as good. This isn't a good message to send.
Okay.
With the product they're putting on the field.
Ben, I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but it's chicken or egg. How do you win the games without having the players? How do you get the players without having the NIL? Help me solve that riddle.
You're saying it's the fans' fault for not donating.
No, I didn't say that. That is, Ben, that's not what I said. I said, which comes first, the great players to win the games or the money to get the players?
Bing, hang up.
Disagree with you. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. Oh.
But with the players that are here, with the quality that was on the field, with KJ Jefferson getting paid $600,000, was that a good investment? I don't believe so.
It was more than that.
With what's going on with the cost of ticket prices going up, there's no return on investment. There's none. Last thing I want to say, as retired military, I watched the Iowa LSU game last night, the women's basketball. And when the LSU girls walked off the floor during the national anthem, I instantly became a ultimate LSU hater until they throw dirt in my face in the national cemetery. You guys take care. Appreciate what y'all do.
And Ben, thanks for your service.
I think for a lot of college basketball fans, there were more on the Iowa train than the LSU. If you're going to wear the black hat, you have to deal with the consequences when you lose. For Angel Reese, for Kim Mulkey, for everyone else, the Bad Boy Pistons can tell you about that. The Las Vegas Raiders can tell you about that. In the history of sports, anytime you love to, again, get at people and do things in unorthodox ways, when you lose, the entire nation is coming to come at you. And that's what happened with LSU last night.
Hey, if you're looking for a new job, call or check out the jobs.crh.com with our friends at APAC Arcola. They have immediate openings in Northwest and North Central Arkansas. Look for licensed CDL drivers, heavy equipment operators, concrete finishers. If you've got paving or concrete experience or you've worked in a quarry, they've got a job available for you right now with great pay and a great benefits package that includes insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Go to jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
Hour number 3 coming up next.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and downtowns for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is the reigning champion of my own conference, Robert.
You do realize that's not a thing.
Well, I did receive a plaque commemorating that accomplishment.
Yeah, and I was elected the president of Mars. Anyway, Hog fans, it's that time again.
It's baseball season. And Hog fans, the Stadium Shop has everything you need for Razorback baseball.
From t-shirts, sweatshirts, man cave stuff, and even a Razorback original, the bases loaded beer hats.
Plus, ladies, as well as a restocked women's section, we have the bases loaded beer stein boppers.
Yeah, it's kind of like those old-time space alien antennas, you know?
Yeah, well, not really.
So when you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road, next door to Baum Walker Stadium, or you can shop us on them WW Interweb, Facegram, you get it, Matthew.
Dad, do you mean the website?
Yeah.
Which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
As always,
go Hogs!
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where it's spring cleaning time. The lot is blooming with fresh road-ready certified inventory and weekly specials that could save you up to $4,000. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade today and save up to $4,000 during spring cleaning at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com. ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds across the north. Temperatures will fall through the mid-50s. We should see sunshine south. Temperatures will fall from 70 into the middle 60s. Now we're looking at a decrease in the cloud cover tonight. Overnight lows in the low 40s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
There's not a new contract in place for him this year. That video was just to kind of dispel some of the rumors that, hey, he's still our basketball coach. Now, this may change tomorrow. You'll have to ask Coach Muselman that, but we very much want him to be an Arkansas Razorback. We feel like where his contract currently sits, he's compensated in the top 12 to 15 coaches in the country. He's earned that compensation and done a great job. And that video was nothing more than an athletic director trying to have a little bit of fun with some fan bases and naysayers that saying, hey, Coach Muselman's leaving. Well, he may be leaving, but right now he's still here, and he's still a basketball coach, and he's still driving the bus.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Is that still confidence in you? Your athletics director talking about the status of your basketball coach, or does that put a little worry in your mind on the status of Eric Muselman? One way or another, we're going to find out at some point where he's going to be, whether it's here in Fayetteville or somewhere else. That's where we begin here on hour number 3 of Bandwagon Tuesday. Some of you are still on the bandwagon that he's going to be retained. Some of you have started to not necessarily jump off that bandwagon, but definitely thinking about it on those comments. Maybe you're hearing it for the first time. Maybe you've heard it already yesterday. That was on Hunter Yurchek on another podcast. It's One Recruits podcast based out of California or something like that. It's a no-name podcast. If you're going to go talk about this, I would do it here in the state of Arkansas where a lot more people get to. That's just my opinion. Maybe a statewide radio show here on ESPN Arkansas at hitthatline.com. Any of them. Doesn't have to be the morning rush. It should be halftime, Ruskin and Zach. It doesn't really matter. But that is a recommendation moving forward.
Well, why do you think he went on that? Why do you think he went on that particular podcast? My guess is they invited him. My guess is you haven't invited. I haven't. My guess is you haven't either invited Hunter Yurchek. You
haven't invited him on?
Well, no, I haven't. He's welcome anytime, but I mean, my guess is you can't scold Hunter Yurchek for not coming on an Arkansas program. I don't know how many media requests he had this week to come on and talk about this matter.
Do you think that helped or hurt the situation?
Oh, I don't think it helped anything.
Didn't help anything.
Yeah. Didn't help anything.
Yep. We'll see. Again, I know some of you think I'm just trying to stir the pot. Does that sound like I'm stirring the pot? Does that sound like that's me just trying to pull something out of thin air? I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
But nothing in that said Eric Muselman's leaving.
But it sure didn't give you
You're trying to read between lines that aren't there. You can barely read now. Don't try to read between lines.
All right. If that's where you stand, that's fine.
It's like you're trying to will this thing into existence to be right. You just want to be right.
No.
Well, I tried to tell you people. Well, no. I mean, just chill. Let's see if there's actually anything to it. You've had him going to Louisville. You've had him going to SMU. I mean, I
have never said at either of those points that he is leaving for Arkansas. I just have said that there's more to the possibility of him leaving than some people think. That is the definitive statement I made over and over on this again.
Based on what?
Come back to the fact that there's been radio silence from us in this 2 weeks. And it's about to be 3 weeks as of Thursday.
And?
That's you asked why. That's
not evidence. That's not evidence.
That is evidence. It's clear evidence that there has not been any evidence.
No news is what?
It's not good news.
Well, no, I don't think that's how the cliche goes.
If you think no news is good news, I got a bridge to sell you.
Well,
but that's
all right.
your opinion. You stick to that. I'll stick to mine.
Well,
we'll
so
differ on
far,
this.
all these other openings have not ended up in him leaving Arkansas. All we've seen is more portal activity and him getting players in here. So I'm going to go
one
with
player. But yes.
but visits and one player committed. So I'm gonna stick with that for now until there's other evidence to the contrary. Hey, have you got your Final Four bracket filled out? If you've not, go to hitthatline.com to our bracket challenge that's presented by On the Mark Sports Bar and Grill in Fayetteville, 810 Billiards and Bowling in Fort Smith, and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley. You can sign up, get your Final Four picks in. We got prizes for each and every round of the contest. Just go to hitthatline.com. It's also brought to you in part by Walk On Sports Bistro, Century Bank of the Ozarks, Cafe Conchesme, the Links at Chaffee Crossing, and Foghorns Wings. Sign up now at hitthatline.com.
This is the Lindsay and Associates Pro Hog Update.
Giannis over to Bobby in the corner. We'll take it. Oh, Bobby's got it. Slam.
Whether you're listing, selling, or leasing, Lindsay and Associates can handle all your real estate needs. Go to lindsay.com to search all the current real estate inventory. At Lindsay and Associates, we bring great neighbors together.
Clacked 1-3. Ryan's instead and hammers it home. Well, that young man's aggressive.
All right, Christian, what happened this weekend?
All right, let's start with basketball here. Patrick Beverly had 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists on Saturday for the Bucks in their 122-113 win over Atlanta. Bobby Portis had 13 points. Daniel Gafford had 6 points for the Mavs on Sunday in their 125-107 victory over the Rockets. Now, Mason Jones didn't score, didn't play much, but he did see some action. He played a minute for the Kings in their 127-106 win over the Jazz on Sunday. It's good to see him on the floor, even if it was only a minute.
Yeah, Malik Monk, I think, got injured for the remainder of the season, or it's a long period of time. So maybe, again, I'm not wishing any ill will towards Malik. I just think that maybe Mason factors in that rotation a little more for the Kings with that injury.
Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe both played in the Thunder's 113-112 win over the Knicks on Sunday. Jalen had 8 points, 8 rebounds. Isaiah Joe had 6 points.
Yeah, they clinched the playoff spot, so congrats to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Bruce had a good stat earlier. There's only one team since the Thunder started their franchise in, I guess, 07 or 08 that has made the playoffs more, and that's the Boston Celtics. Anytime you get mentioned with Boston, it's pretty special. So 2 Fort Smith and Arkansas Razorback guys that are having a key impact to this reinvented Oklahoma City squad.
What was that timeline? But when did they leave Seattle for Oklahoma City? Time gets away. Hasn't been 20 years, has it?
No.
No,
because Durant.
07, 08.
I think
okay.
Durant was
closing in on it.
It's closing in. It's getting close.
Closer to 20 than 15. Yeah.
Moses Moody, he had 10 points for the Warriors in their 117-113 win over the Spurs.
Chris Paul, I saw a statement he made that Moses is one of his favorite teammates that he's ever played with. I hate Chris Paul, hate him with passion, but I am happy to see that he's very complimentary of Moses Moody, who, again, should be playing more. For whatever reason, Steve Kerr doesn't feature him in the rotation as much, but encouraging to see those comments from a Hall of Famer in Chris Paul.
Now, 8 former Hogs were on MLB opening day rosters, as we just got underway last week, I believe, in the MLB. Infielder Brian Anderson for the Milwaukee Brewers, pitcher Jalen Beeks for the Tampa Bay Rays, outfielder Andrew Benintendi for the White Sox, pitcher Zach Jackson for the Oakland Athletics, catcher James McCann for the Baltimore Orioles, pitcher Drew Smiley for the Chicago Cubs, and pitcher Ryan Stanek for the Houston Astros, as well as Trevor Stephan for the Cleveland Guardians. In 16 at-bats this year so far, Benintendi has 2 hits and is hitting 125 so far on the young season. James McCann, 4 plate appearances, has 2 hits. He's batting .500. Drew Smiley has appeared in 2 games so far, pitched 2 2/3 innings, and is credited with 1 loss. Ryan Stanek has appeared in 2 games and has 1 save with 2 strikeouts in 1 1/3 innings pitched.
There'll be no shortage of content these next couple months with the NBA and MLB going on, as the MLB got underway last week, and a lot of Razorbacks. I think I counted up. I think there's like 1 more basketball player than there's baseball player when I did that last week, but you're either approaching double digits or you're right around that double-digit mark for both baseball and basketball, which is cool to see so many Razorbacks having an impact on both sports.
All right, that's your Pro Hog update, brought to you by our good friends at Lindsay and Associates. They've been around for more than 50 years in the real estate business. Here in Northwest Arkansas, they're the leading real estate company. Whether you're listing, you're selling, or you're leasing, or you're not sure what to do right now, talk to Lindsay and Associates. They can handle all of your real estate needs. They have over 200 professionally trained agents. They've got locations in Fayetteville, Rogers. They're also in Bentonville. They're the winning choice. If you need a realtor, go to lindsay.com to search all the current real estate inventory. At Lindsay and Associates, we bring great neighbors together.
All right, before we talk to Tom Murphy here on the Morning Rush via the McLarty Daniel Hotline, let's talk to Sterling, who has some thoughts on Eric Muselman. Sterling, welcome in.
Hey, guys. And Ty, I agree with you. I agree with you totally on your section of the situation. Tommy, he's me and him about the same age, so he may end up being right. But what you coming up with make all sense in the world to me. And what I know about you, Ty, me and you can agree and disagree. We always in the conversation the same way. Always no name calling, no some hosts like to get arrogant. And on this show, and on all these shows on this station, they all class act. But so I'm with Ty. I'm with Ty on this. None of this looks good. None of this smells good. I know we gotta get to Tom. I know we gotta get to Tom. I just want to say, this could have been, if he wanted to squash this, he could have. And we all know that's a fact.
Ding, ding, ding.
Agree with that. Have a great day.
Thank you, Sterling. And I will say, I hope Tommy's right. I hope I'm dead wrong. I hope by the end of this week, by early next week, I was wrong. I'll get on these airwaves and echo it to the mountaintops. But I don't think I'm wrong, y'all.
But even if he got on here and gave you some kind of assurance, does that not mean
that he'd leave?
Is that not? I mean, there's nothing to say he. I know people want to point to the Nick Saban example, but okay, he puts out a tweet that puts you at ease. That doesn't guarantee anything either.
You're exactly right.
So I mean, I understand what you're looking for. He doesn't owe that to us. Maybe we read too much into Hunter Yurichek's video last week based on his comments on that podcast, but even there is no declarative, definitive, he's not going anywhere until, all the dust settles in college basketball, till you get through the coaching convention that's coming up out of the Final Four, till you get through all the openings that are out there. And then I guess that would be maybe even a little more definition at that point, but no tweets, a binding contract with the fan base, with the school, or anything else.
No pushback. I think you're exactly right. All right, let's welcome in our friend Tom Murphy, also on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, who jumps in here. Tom, we got baseball, we got some basketball stuff from last night, but the comments that you just heard Sterling make in regards to Hunter Yurichek's comments on that podcast, what did you make of what the athletics director had to say about Arkansas's coaching situation?
Well, I have been completely entangled up with some other stuff, so I didn't see them, but I'm assuming he was saying that they feel good about Eric Muselman coming back. Well, I mean,
do you have that?
What did he say?
Yeah, here, Tom, let's play it real time
for you.
That was a video that was recorded a few years ago. That video was probably 30 or 40 seconds in length, and we edited that down. I had our communication staff edit that down. As you guys alluded to, Coach Muselman, much to his success, has been rumored for multiple jobs that have been open here in this offseason, and he's still the basketball coach as we sit here today and record this podcast at the University of Arkansas. He has been well taken care of in his past contracts, or where he's had a couple of extensions in the past few years and six-figure increases. There's not a new contract in place for him this year, but that video was just to kind of dispel some of the rumors that, hey, he's still our basketball coach. Now, this may change tomorrow. You'll have to ask Coach Muselman that, but we very much want him to be an Arkansas Razorback. We feel like where his contract currently sits, he's compensated in the top 12 to 15 coaches in the country. He's earned that compensation and done a great job. And that video was nothing more than an athletic director trying to have a little bit of fun with some fan bases and naysayers that saying, hey, Coach Muselman's leaving. Well, he may be leaving, but right now he's still here, and he's still our basketball coach, and he's still driving the bus.
So after hearing that real time, Tom.
Okay.
And I know you probably have to listen to it maybe a few more times before completely giving your thoughts. Do you have any just initial reaction to hearing that real time?
No, I'm good with this. I mean, look, he's the same guy who sent out the smoke signals video when he was at Houston, because everybody's intense interest and the white smoke, I think, meant they had a decision. So I don't know. He's just doing that as in real time, as you say. And look, if USC comes calling and the package is too good to turn down, then maybe that's what happened. But I don't fault Hunter Yurachek and them for putting out the video that they had done before, slightly edited down. So I don't know what will eventually come of this, but he's right. I mean, Eric Musselman's compensation is in the top 15 or whatever in the country, and he's gotten some raises, and we'll see how it plays out.
Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Tom, let's go back to last Saturday. Let's talk about the football scrimmage. I know quarterbacks were the ones that spoke with the media. What did your eyes see when you were watching that 100-plus play scrimmage?
Well, my eyes saw that the first offense marched right down the field, and they scored the touchdown, right away. It was Taylor Green to Luke Haas. Luke has, great march. And the second time they got the ball, they went right down, and Jaquin Jackson broke tackles and scored a 10-yard touchdown. But after that, all the defensive units held up pretty strong. There were some missed field goals along the way, so there was a lack of scoring for quite a while until they got back in the end zone. I can't remember what was the next TD. It might have been Braylon Russell's 2-yard run, but then Isaiah Satania had a 33-yard catch. I just feel like they're going to be slightly better on both sides of the ball, and maybe even substantially better on offense. Certainly the O-line with Carmona and Blackstock, Addison Nichols, I think they've upgraded there. So, but overall, I mean, I thought the defense had the better day. Taylor Green's numbers, I think he completed a little less than 50% of his passes. Of course, he was operating without Andrew Armstrong and Jaden Wilson on the day. And I don't know, just a nice looking scrimmage. I'm glad that they didn't have any major injuries coming out of that. And it looks like today I can see down into the Walker Pavilion, they're going to be in spider pads and shorts as they come back from the scrimmage.
Bobby Petrino, I know a lot of eyes are on him. Clay wrote about that as well and has spoke with us about it. His interactions are so much different now. And what did you see as you watched that scrimmage unfold from the offensive coordinator that I think people have one expectation of the way he was when he was the head coach, and it's certainly not the same thing now that he's running the offense.
Right, and he certainly, as a head coach, he's saying things to the defensive guys, and I remember if defensive guys freelance, he would get on to them back in the day. And now, I mean, he's not as loud. He got frustrated on Saturday, and dropped a few choice words in there, but it's just not as pervasive. It's not as echoing throughout the whole practice field as it once was when he was a head coach. And in a way, that's part of how you have to fold into maybe the head coach's philosophy, love on the kids, but, teach them and correct them and stuff, but do it in a certain way. And all the quarterbacks spoke on Saturday as to Petrino's ability to read defenses, to break things down, give them options, and just make things work. And I think as we go through the rest of spring, we're going to see the execution level rise. And then when they do the individual stuff they can do in the summer, and then they get toward fall, I think we're going to see a little bit sharper product. But I think they'll have the ability to be a balanced team. I like the running back core. And, they could make a pretty good move offensively, in my view.
Tom Murphy with us via the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Tom, we got about a minute or so left with you. I know he's dealing with an injury, but maybe what you've seen from him so far, and can we expect him to be the dominant number one receiver of this group, similar to what he was last year?
I think so, and it's not even better. I mean, they're certainly going to get the ball in his hands. He's made a tremendous number of great catches. I wrote about him today. With him out, Tyrone Broden had a great catch against Jalen Braxton. And by the way, Braxton and Xavier Sori also spoke. So we talked to 5 guys on Saturday. But I love the Braxton Armstrong pairing. They've made it happen intentionally. But what the Razorbacks want to see is continued development along, your third, fourth, fifth. Tesla had a decent season last year. You want to see him improve. Davion Dozier, we spoke glowingly about him the first 5 practices, and then he had a couple of drops in the scrimmage. So he's got to be more consistent. But they have the potential to have tall receivers, receivers who can get open, like Isaiah Satania, and, speedier guys, and, just to be a better receiving core all around.
Tom, we didn't even get to baseball today. Well, let's do that Thursday when Arkansas gets ready to play Ole Miss and try to retain their number 1 ranking.
Sounds good. See y'all.
All right, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports with us here every Tuesday and Thursday on the Morning Rush. We're brought to you by the Hickey and Hole Law Partners. They're growing their firm by opening offices in Mena and Central Arkansas over the last couple of years. They've been in Fort Smith and Rogers. They've got 4 locations around the state that are well established and there to take care of you. If you've got a family law matter, if you've got a business or personal matter or a criminal matter that you need someone to help you with and to represent you aggressively from your corner, the Hickey and Hole Law Partners are there for you. 479-434-2414 to schedule your consultation, 479-434-2414, or go to kevinhickeylaw.com. Arkansas and Arkansas State tonight at Baum-Walker Stadium. Let's give away 2 pair of tickets. We'll take 2 different winners, 877-377-6963 on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Got a couple extra pair. We want to pass those along, 877-377-6963. Callers 4 and 5 this morning get a pair of primo tickets to tonight's Arkansas State game.
In regards to the matchup, here's what Dave said on tonight.
I follow their scores. They've had a lot of games. There's been a lot of runs scored. Sometimes they did, sometimes the other team. When it's a in-state school, it's kind of throw the records out a lot of times. They're going to give us all we want.
I think that's the best way to put it. Throw the records out with the in-state school. We'll see what Arkansas brings later on tonight in Baum-Walker Stadium.
What's up, everybody? It's Peter Burns for the SEC Network. You're listening to The Morning Rush. Yes, sir.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and downtowns for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th. 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
Razorback! Engagement season is in full swing, and Diamond Center wants to be part of your story. For the entire month of April, we're offering 5 years of 0% interest on purchases. That's right, 5 years, 60 months, 0 interest financing. There has never been a better time to pick out the perfect engagement ring and pop the question. Let Diamond Center help you begin this next step of your journey together with 5 years of 0 interest financing for the entire month of April on all custom design and in-stock pieces of jewelry. Diamond Center, a legacy of love. Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Woo pig suey, and it's fantastic when people call it. Now, if things aren't going well, sometimes they yell woo pig fooey, and that isn't real good. That's bad luck.
Calling hogs, they go sweet. There goes Helbrink. Snowball reaches for a pitch, drives it the other way, deep to left, got a chance. It's at the wall, and it's out of here. Snowball with the Oppo Taco.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Let's talk some basketball coming up. What we watched last night, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, LSU, Iowa, and then what we have to look forward to this weekend in the Final Four. Evidently, DJ Burns is not necessarily getting NBA interest, but another professional league. I'll tell you which one in just a sec. Before we do that, let's welcome in our friend Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources here on a Tuesday. Larry, it's the beginning of the month, man. You know what that means.
No, absolutely. It means it's a great time to get you a new Mitsubishi today in particular, because I'm going to be there today. I'm up here in Springdale. David's off for a bit, and it's going to be a great time to come on in and take advantage of the Poor Old Car Dealer. Get yourself a brand new Mitsubishi, and we've got a great selection. Interest rates low, 0% on those. Rebates available as well, and one terrific lease offer on the 23 PHEV Outlanders, the plug-in electric hybrid. Got a really good lease offer on those, and the incentive on that's about $7,500, so you could save some real money there. On the used car side, a great selection of road-ready certified premium pre-owned cars and trucks. And folks, you can't get them anywhere except Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale, Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith. And these really are the best used cars you can buy anywhere. And so when you're looking for a used car, that's the first thing. Make sure you're getting the very best car you can buy. And you're going to want to look for that road-ready certified with warranty. We've got a good selection of those at both locations. Down in Fort Smith, a big inventory, cars, trucks, SUVs, all the most popular makes and models. We're bound to have one that's just right for you. Come on in today and let one of our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the one that's just right for you and your family, and then let them worry about getting the price and payment where it fits your budget. That's what we do. We'd love a chance to do it for you. We call it Rolling with Rath. Come and see us today. Rath Mitsubishi in Fort Smith, Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, the Meineke Car Care Centers at both locations. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, that's Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Larry, have a good day. Welcome to April, and we'll talk later on this week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Folks, come and see us.
Talking to our Larry there, I'm watching this game last night, and it reminded me of another Larry and Magic Johnson, the best rivalry to ever exist in sports.
They talk about it every day somewhere. If I go to a foreign country, magic, we're magic. Same everywhere.
You heard Bird there in one of the many documentaries that they've done over the years. The best women's basketball rivalry was the late Pat Summitt versus Gino Auriemma. I don't know if this is the best rivalry ever in the history of women's sports. I'm not qualified to justify my answer there, but I know it's the one that's got my attention, and it probably got your attention last night. Even you didn't have to watch the whole game, but you maybe watched bits and pieces. It was on ESPN. There wasn't else a lot on last night. Caitlin Clark had 41 and 12. She was fantastic. Angel Reese had an ankle injury, ended up fouling out last night. It was a back-and-forth game. You had all the storylines and everything. It could have been a little closer, but, I mean, Clark delivered last night.
Can it be a rivalry when there's only two meetings?
It has to build. And this is why I make the Magic and Bird comparison, is because they played, of course, in the national championship, the championship you should have been in. We all know what happened in 79. Bird, Magic. Magic wins that first one. Bird wins the first finals. They have to continue playing. They've got to somehow, some way, be on teams in the WNBA that go against each other regularly and that hopefully meet in the championship. They will their team get on good coaching staffs, but that's what you have to continue. You were asking, how do we blossom? How do we continue this on, not just in college, but women's sport? You want to help out the WNBA that doesn't get a lick of viewership right now? You put these two in prime location, in prime position. We got to remember, NBA didn't do jack squat before Bird and Magic got to the league. Then all of a sudden, what do the executives do for the NBA? They put Bird in the first game, Magic in the second game, and they featured them every time they played each other. Soon the tape delay stuff that you had the NBA Finals on, you had new contracts, and then Michael Jordan came in the league and took that next step. So for the WNBA, you have to capitalize on this. Clark's already declared. We'll see if Angel Reese does too. If she does, you've got to find a way to feature them in contentious matchups and parlay them back to back, because that's how you build this
and go win gold together.
Yes, that's another, and that's another good point, which I'm assuming both of them are on Team USA. I would think that's just the logical conclusion. I haven't looked at the roster, but that's kind of the opposite of Bird. Bird and Magic won gold first, then they played against each other. Right. These two have played together twice, and then would now be teammates.
Yeah,
which would be odd.
Summer Olympics,
and that's how, like, you think about how that rivalry grew between Bird and Magic. They started to get to know each other. I think there's a lot of differences between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. I think we all realize that, as there were with Magic and Bird. But that's how you grow that rivalry, I think, and that's how you grow women's basketball. It's not just them in college and it just ceases to exist. You have to continue to build on this if you're ESPN and other brands within women's basketball, because it has a chance to be something. You just can't let it diminish.
Yeah. And the WNBA's never really had that shot in the arm. Even with the greatest players in college basketball, it's not jumped across the line and transitioned into mass appeal.
I don't think it'll be enough either way.
But they're the big potential winner out of this, not women's college basketball, because I don't know who the next wave of superstars are. These superstars will go on and help the WNBA more than anything. And maybe that helps women's basketball as a whole. A rising tide will lift all boats. Hey, looking here at the menu at Art's Barbecue. Good day to have a great burger at Art's, from their classic burger to the hickory burger to some of the new items. They got 10 different burgers on the menu. I tried the brisket burger where they take their hamburger patty. They got chopped brisket, caramelized onions, cheese, and their barbecue sauce on it. It is awesome. Or the Art Attack, the classic burger topped with on their house bun with onion rings, smoked ham, and a fried egg. That's one of the favorites as well. The Wild West burger, the Mackin burger. They got 10 different varieties right now. They're $1 off every Saturday. Try their burgers, their catfish, great salads, and, of course, tender, delicious, bite-off-the-bone baby back ribs as well. Art's Barbecue, Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or 452-2550 to call ahead.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Daddy would kill me if I brought you home. Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV, with brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. On-site financing available, plus food trucks, a variety of vendors, and downtowns for the kids. Make plans to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 13th and 14th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is The Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Solve your roofing problems with Freedom Roofing and sleep soundly beneath a sturdy roof tonight. Locally owned, licensed, and insured, Freedom Roofing is a dependable company that will help you with the insurance claim process. Residential or commercial, they'll be there step by step. Call Keith Holt, 479-597-6777, or Rick Carlisle, 479-651-3247 today on all roofing services and break free from your aging roof. Good luck, Peyton Holt and Hog Baseball from Freedom Roofing.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
It's 2024. Let's go see what's new at the Golf Nut. Peen G430 Max 10K driver. Peen's straightest and most forgiving driver. TaylorMade QI 10 Max woods and irons with 10K inertia, making it the most forgiving driver ever. And Cleveland Launcher XL2 woods and irons. Call Matt Brooks for a lesson, 646-4430. And start a new year with more confidence on the course. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
Tommy, earlier in the program, you were counting up the number of ranked teams within the D1 baseball. Top 25 hailing from the conference. It's 40%. 10 of the top 25 teams are from this conference. Arkansas, unanimous number one. You've got A&M, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Florida, Bama, Kentucky, LSU, South Carolina, and Georgia all featured those as well. Some whole hog sports.
If I got this right, you got 5 of the top 7. Yeah, number 1, number 3, number 4, number 6, and number 7. Pretty good.
It's a good baseball league. Last 3 national championships, champions have hailed from this league. It's a good chunk of them the last decade or so, in addition to that.
But this isn't 1980s college football. They don't declare the winner based on the rankings.
No, they do not.
So rankings have meant little to nothing on what really counts in Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep. And
Clemson's number 2, if you're wondering. Oregon State's number 5. Dallas Baptist, a school that has caused some problems before. In postseason play, they're number 8, Duke 9, North Carolina 10. So those are the schools that are not SEC schools in the top 10 poll, according to D1 Baseball.
Other SEC news, Meechie Johnson, former South Carolina point guard, has apparently heard, according to On 3 Sports, from Kentucky, Ohio State, your Arkansas Razorbacks, and the Texas A&M Aggies. So a couple SEC schools, at least potentially in the running for one of the more highly touted guards in the transfer portal. As I continue to monitor how many players have entered, the guys that are entering, you've got a lot of talented basketball players. Arkansas has got Josh Cohen, the UMass transfer. We'll see who else Eric Muselman decides to add out of the portal. Alabama opens up as an 11.5-point underdog against UConn. It's one of the highest lines in Final Four history. And then you've got Purdue. Did you say 8.5 earlier on the Bet Saracen app?
For which game?
Purdue and NC State. Was it 8? It was
8
or 8.5.
I thought it was 11.
No, the UConn Alabama's 11.5.
Okay, then it was 8.5.
Yeah, I thought that was 8.5. So that's the setup for the SEC team that's featured this weekend.
Yeah, 8.5 and 11.5.
Yep, that's the setup for this weekend. Pretty high lines for Final Four games, but you have 2 underdogs, one in Alabama, one in NC State. Pro DJ Burns show. It will continue to be that even if they fall this weekend. I hope they don't. Apparently DJ Burns is getting some NFL interest, which I found because of his footwork and his size.
Yeah. Tight end or where would you put him?
Offensive line is what they're projected about. But you never know.
I don't know, dude, man. You slim him down a little bit. Those hands, that footwork, he might make you a better tight end, you think.
I don't know if he's going to slim down anytime soon. Maybe as a Maybe that's in his future. I don't see it happen. But you could be right. Like he does.
He's
have
got
soft
good hands, and
Yeah.
that's what you're looking for. With
He does have soft hands. I don't. That speed's got to pick up a little bit if you're going to play the next level tight end. But that is your SEC news and your SEC update, brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas.
Yeah, they got your dream pool waiting on you. If you've dreamed of that backyard oasis, dive in with Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. They have a massive outdoor showroom. If you want to kind of get ideas, maybe get a vision of what your backyard could look like, the Springdale location's the place to go, right off I-49. In Fort Smith, they've got a big selection and in-ground pools there to view, but there are 10 stunning in-ground pool installations you can look at the Springdale location, 8 different fiberglass pool models, and right now discounts up to $12,000 off. So if you want a backyard pool, you want a backyard oasis of your own for you and your family, and you're having a hard time maybe visualizing or putting it together in your mind, they've got a great staff to help do that, help design your backyard. When they did mine, they came out, took measurements, took pictures, and had a special camera. They came back with a computer rendering of what it would look like, an animation. And when it was done, it was about 98% exactly what that animation looked like, and gave us a great idea of what our backyard would be. And that's exactly what it turned out to. Go to Burton Pools and Spas. Again, Springdale and in Fort Smith, online at burtonpools.com. They build more than just pools at Burton's. They build long-term relationships, again, online at burtonpools.com.
So Dave Van Horn and the Arkansas Razorbacks play Arkansas State tonight. Now, midweek games are not exactly the most paid attention to of the conference and other games, and understandably so. You typically beat these teams, even if it's an in-state opponent you've had success against. So you look at Arkansas this season, they're 4-0 in midweek games, 2-0 versus in-state opponents, and they're 3-0 against Arkansas State all time. But why it's important is because of what Dave Van Horn says here.
That's part of why guys in the middle of the week that haven't played on the weekend, man, they want to get after it. They want to play. They want to try to earn some time on the weekend, or even in some cases just get on the roster and have an opportunity to play. So, yeah, it should bring some energy.
Going to see Colin Fisher, Big Tuna start tonight. Going to see Ben Bybee. Might see Dylan Carter. I think Dave talked about that, the Swatters Club meeting yesterday, and probably see some other position players that don't normally start or play in those set positions, get some guys some rest, because you got another Thursday through Saturday game this series this week.
Huge. I mean, and that also has affected how you can schedule midweek games coming up when you're on the road. You got some 2-gamers. San Jose State and Texas Tech are still to come. So, but you can't play a 2-gamer when you start on Thursday. So that does limit you there a little bit for home midweeks.
It is odd to see Texas Tech playing twice next week in Fayetteville, Arkansas, but that is how the setup is. At Texas Tech, who you've seen the regional or super regional a couple years ago. I think it was the regional that they came in because there was a Fort Smith pitcher whose name was Ty. His dad,
Harpino.
Harpino. His dad, I think, coached at Southside, if I remember that right.
And at UA Fort Smith.
Mm-hmm. So that I remember that Arkansas connection for the Red Raiders. So Texas Tech, Lubbock, Texas, will be traveling up here this next week. That's your midweek opponents. As for Ole Miss, who is not ranked, it's kind of surprising. I'll tell you what, 2 years ago, they won the national championship, and Bianco's squad has trailed off a little bit since then. LSU, I know, started 2-7 this year. We'll see if they round into form. LSU's got a lot more baseball talent than Ole Miss does. Tommy Tanks being probably the most notable guy, but they did lose a lot off this year's roster. I know that the baseball standings are what they are. We see LSU, Auburn, and Missouri near the bottom of both the SEC West and SEC East, but that is subject to change. We'll see if LSU ends up rounding into form, as they sometimes do during the SEC tournament and during postseason. That's a team, as we said earlier, you don't want to see have to come to your ballpark. You want to avoid, as Oklahoma State and North Carolina found out with Arkansas, you typically don't want to have to host an SEC team, especially for a super regional.
And LSU's trying to play their way back into hosting for a regional right now. I don't know if they've completely played their way out of the supers, but it's not likely at 2-7 on their start through three of your weekend series. So we'll see how things pan out. I still think LSU, that's why I had them in our Pradco Pyramid of Power top 6 this week. I know y'all disagree with that. Kentucky and Alabama, they're knocking on the door. South Carolina's still in the top 25, and they've caused some problems. They beat Vanderbilt 3 straight in a series a couple of weeks ago. So, right now you like Arkansas's odds of winning this conference and certainly winning their division, but A&M's going to be no pushover. That's a road series. That's going to be a real test for Arkansas coming
right
up.
before Hoover, right before the SEC tournament. So they'll go straight from College Station to Hoover. Don't care if they win in Hoover. Just want them to win in College Station.
And you get Florida. You get Florida, who's 6th ranked, coming in here a couple of weeks. It's towards the end of April, and
26th through the 28th.
Yeah, something like that. So I mean, that's going to be a fun series. So Arkansas's avoiding a few teams, but they're still playing LSU, still playing Florida, still playing A&M. It's there's going to be some real challenges still ahead that are on the schedule, with Florida and A&M being chief amongst them.
So you're right in the middle of baseball season. We're still really far out from football season. I guess we've got our Bud Light Morning Rush countdown that will get underway here shortly. I think it gets going in May, if I remember that math right. But first game of the season gets UAPB. You do have the spring game this next Saturday, and you have a scrimmage this Saturday, which you can watch. You can start entering the gates at 9:30. I think the scrimmage gets going at 10:30. You can bring your own food, bring in your own drink. I know that some of you will watch next week. Some of you will attend in person next week. Some of you will be watching that game on the SEC Network next week when you have the red versus the white. I did think that they're doing that cool. Did find it cool. They're doing the car show thing where you have cars and trucks. If you want to participate in the car show, these classic looks. Is that something you ever went to growing up with your dad or anything? Is there any of your friends that are big car?
I mean, I've done many car shows in my radio career where we broadcasted, been a part of, sponsored, cruise nights, that kind of thing. But no one in my family ever had we just drove old cars, but they weren't really what I call classic cars.
They are just old.
They're just wore out cars.
My brother and I split a 98 Dodge Ram for the majority of my high school career or high school days. And that was, again, it wasn't a classic, but it was an old car, and we were happy to just have a car to be.
I think they're cool, but I mean, I'm not going to go buy one, restore it, baby it, love it. That's not my cup of tea.
Well, different stories. So that's your football, and then you'll have a long period until fall gets going. I guess you'll hear something out of summer here and there, but then you'll have pretty much a dry.
Hopefully, we have baseball till near the end of June.
Yep. That would be the goal of this baseball team. And we got asked earlier, Brian and Ozark asked us yesterday, is it a failure if this team doesn't make it to the end, win the national championship? That's a bridge too far for me. What I said is I think it's a failure if this team doesn't get to Omaha, assuming they continue on the trajectory. Like 2 years ago, was it right? 3 years ago? 3 years ago with Kevin Kopps, that team did not live up to expectations. You didn't lose an SEC series all year. You should have made it to Omaha. I'm not saying you should have won the national championship, but they came up short of where they needed to be. And the expectations of this fan base, whether right or wrong, the expectations of this fan base is to wind up in Omaha, Nebraska. Not necessarily to win the whole thing. I wouldn't say that's the overwhelming majority, but they expect this team to end up in Omaha. That's not fair to Dave Van Horn. That's just what's been put in front of them this year.
Well, it's not a bad thing to have high expectations. It's not a bad thing. And I think the expectations just get higher as we watch this team do more and more. I can't wrap my mind around, I can't really understand, what is the ceiling? Is this as good as they're going to play? Are they going to be consistent like this all year long? There's going to be peaks and valleys. Get ready. There's going to be a valley coming up. Maybe Florida at the end of the month. Maybe that trip to A&M. You want to be playing your best baseball, though, in June. And is this as good as it's going to get? I got to believe there's still room out there. We talked about Tiger and maybe shoring up at that third starter spot. There's been maybe a little lull in the offense at times, but everything they've done, even at the performance now, has been good enough to win all the games that really count.
Yep. The 8-1 record in SEC play would be a great example of that.
Exactly.
And we'll say,
and I've heard Phil talk about this. He still thinks they can get better. Phil sees them every day, more or less.
Yep, I would say Phil's on the money on that. Again, game tonight, we'll have it right for you on most of these ESPN Arkansas radio stations, so make sure you stay tuned for not only Phil Elson later on tonight, but also coming up at halftime at 11 o'clock. So for Tommy Kraft, Chuck Barrett, Christian Johnston, and Tom Murphy, and Bruce Den, Todd Richardson, back in these chairs tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Hello there, homeowner. Roger Scott for Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas. Are you tired of dealing with clogged gutters, climbing ladders, and worrying about potential damage to your home? Well, listen up to me now. Leaf Guard of Arkansas has